Hey everyone, today's bonus episode of Tabletop Babble is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a free 30-day trial at audible.com/DSPN. They have over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. This is Tabletop Babble. I'm James Introcaso. On today's special bonus episode, Rudy, Basso, and I are playing a brand new one-player, one-GM RPG from Pelgrane Press called Cthulhu Confidential. I am so very excited to bring you this actual play bonus episode of Tabletop Babble. We had a blast playing it. If you want to see us playing it, it is on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/don'tsplitthepodcast. So check that out if you want to see us visually. If not, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Special thanks to the one and only Wade Rocket, who got us this game and asked us to review it. The review will be coming Monday on this very podcast stream. So here it is. I am James Introcaso, the host of Tabletop Babble and co-owner of the Don't Split the Podcast Network. Who are you?
I'm Rudy Basso. I host Game O'Clock, and I also produce with you. You didn't mention, but I produce with you Have Spellbook Will Travel, and I am also the other co-owner of the Don't Split the Podcast Network.
Yes. Excellent. Rudy, it is awesome to be here today. What are we doing as I tweet out this link to everybody?
James, we are playing a new game from Pelgrane Press. It is not released just yet. They were kind enough to give us a preview copy. It is called Cthulhu Confidential. And James, unlike most RPGs that you and I may be familiar with, this game has only one player besides I think they call it Game Master in this game. It uses a modified version of Gumshoe 1-to-1, which is what this system is called, by Robert D. Laws, the creator of Gumshoe. And this book is partly authored by Mr. Laws, along with Chris Spivey and Ruth Tillman, who I believe you had on a recent episode of Tabletop Babble.
Yes, you are correct. The most recent episode of Tabletop Babble, we had Ruth Tillman on, and this is a wonderful game that's powered by the Gumshoe system that a lot of people probably know if you've played Gumshoe or Knights Black Agents or any game powered by the Gumshoe system. This is very similar, but it is also a little different, right, Rudy?
It is, because as I mentioned, it's only two players, so it's got a lot of cards, we'll say. You know, if you play with a group of people and you try and do something using a skill check and you fail, well, you've got other people in your party that also have skills that can do something else. Not really the case when you're the only player in the game. So instead, there are lots of different ways to succeed in skills. And if you fail, you don't lose or die. What you'll do is you'll get... Okay, so let's take a step back again. So the main thing is that throughout the game, you'll get a series of cards that you can use to aid you in your skill checks. These are called edges, problem. Edges are advantages that you have and can invoke throughout the game. Sometimes they're mechanical, like get +2 on a roll for fighting or something like that. Other times they'll be story specific, like you have helped a character in this world. You can now call on him for a favor. Those are good. Those are great. Unfortunately, there's other things called problems, which you can get if you fail a skill check. Problems can be very similar. Things like you have been burned, so you have a -2 on all athletics checks you might make. It can also be like you have upset this muscly tough character, which means that, hey, he might be coming for you later in the game. There are multiple ways to counter the problem. Sometimes edges can cancel out a problem, but the most common way to counter them is to, in-game, do something called take time. And that's kind of where your character puts everything on hold and figures out a way to counter the problem they have. So that doesn't have its own disadvantages, though. By stopping, you may be slowing down an investigation, which will cause you to move somebody else's timeline forward. You might have upset someone. Let's say you beat somebody up. Well, that gives them time to recover, and then they're going to want to have to come after you. It's a really interesting system. I love Gumshoe. I can understand they had to make some big changes to make it just a one-on-one game. And I think it's a really great system that they've come up with that still keeps the spirit of Gumshoe, but changes the mechanics to fit that 1v1 kind of, not 1v1, 1-and-1 aspect of it.
Yeah, totally. And I think you are absolutely correct that that 1v1, now that I've done social media blasting everybody,
Okay.
So it really is going to be a very different experience, a more intimate experience, right, with the two of us?
Yes, very much so.
And it does take on less of a... and most role-playing games don't have this to begin with, but sometimes it can develop, right, like a me versus you kind of thing. This is more of a... even more so than most role-playing games, a collaborative storytelling effort. And I'm excited to go into this with you, one of the best actors that I know and one of the best storytellers that I know. And obviously there are some Cthulhu-y sort of pieces that go along with this, right? The game takes place in the 30s.
Yes.
In Los Angeles, and we are going to have a ton of fun, and I think we can explain the rest as we go along. The other thing about Gumshoe that's really cool that this game preserves is that you have a certain set of investigative abilities which have no chance of failure. They just always work because the idea of Gumshoe is that it's not fun to not have information. It makes it harder to tell a story, right? And it makes it harder particularly to tell a mystery if you're not actually discovering those clues. So the character I'm playing has a set of skills that can fail, you know, your fighting skills, your ability to resist the call of Cthulhu, if you will. And those, because those are interesting, right? Those are interesting failure options.
James, as you were saying, this is a very noir setting, kind of like your classic 1930s investigative kind of thing, but it has this supernatural Cthulhu slant, hence the name. You'll be playing a character that was pre-made, that came with the book. There are 3 in it. You'll be playing the very classic investigator. His name is Dex Raymond, which we were just kind of joking before. Dex is, one of the main skills or abilities in Dungeons and Dragons. So it was kind of throwing me off every time I read Dex should do this.
Mm-hmm. Talking about hard-boiled Los Angeles, where exactly. Dex Raymond is from, the character that I'll be playing.
That's where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
And you have friends there.
I do.
Sources. So Dex Raymond on his own is not a superhero. He has, a character sheet just like any other character would in a game, which means he only has certain abilities at his disposal. So to even things out, you're given a number of different sources, was what they're called, who are your friends in the game. If there are any issues, maybe Dex Raymond doesn't, obviously, I can tell you right now, Dex Raymond, not so great at healing himself. Not a doctor of any kind. So he's got a buddy who can patch him up if he's in trouble. He's got someone who's a little bit smarter on the occult end of things. Dex Raymond, not so big on the Cthulhu aspect.
That's right. Good thing it's unnecessary. I won't need to be healed at all, right?
That's true, because you don't have health in this game. If you get into a fight and you get the crap kicked out of you, you're going to get one of those problems I mentioned earlier, but you're not dead by any means. I'll give an example. If you get punched in the face, you have a black eye, which is like, only chumps get black eyes, which means that other people from the criminal underworld will look at you with less respect. And for a guy like Dex Raymond, that's not good. You got to have that respect when you're talking to the criminal underworld peoples. So, right. It's cool. If James does do something that will kill him, it is probably really stupid. James can't die, basically. But,
well, I can, but usually not until the end of a scenario, right?
In true Lovecraft fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So what's cool is you still get a satisfying end to your story. I'm not going to be taken out by like a wandering deep one, 1/3 of the way through and then not have a way back. So that's one of the things that's really fun.
So, James,
I'm ready, sir.
are you ready to jump into the Fathomless Sleep?
I am. I'm ready to jump
into
the
There is one more thing I do want to mention, and because we talked about how this is truly a collaborative storytelling game before, all skill checks are completely open-ended. When James comes up to a challenge, I will tell him this is what you need to succeed. This is what you need to get this kind of super success, if you will. It's called an advance in this game. And this is what will happen if you fail. They're called setbacks in this game. So James will decide how many dice he wants to roll, assuming he has more than one.
So I can take an extra problem to get more dice.
Yes.
Is the way that works.
My apologies, yeah. Pushes are for investigative skills.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're familiar with Gumshoe, it's like spending a point. Instead, you spend a push.
Exactly.
They're you can apply them to any investigative ability. Okay. So, Mr. Raymond, and you're in your office.
Okay.
But before we even do this, I think we need to establish a problem for Dex Raymond. James, you have 4 problems in front of you.
That is correct. 4 problems that I can choose from. I have a problem called What Killed the Cat, which is even when you look, you shouldn't. You have no reason to want to know something. You can't look, can't stop, or you can't not look, can't stop probing. You worry problems like a terrier worries a rat. That is awesome. Or I could take the problem lonely. I should have gotten over her by now. She's gone, and gone for good. It's time I moved on and found someone new. Maybe someone who won't play me for a sap this time. Oh, hell. Who am I kidding? I could take broke, which is nobody could accuse you of loving money, but you also don't have any, and you need it to eat. Or I could take a vice hound problem, which is gambling, whores, opium pipe, etc., etc. So I am going to go ahead and say I'm going to take What Killed the Cat. Mm-hmm. Even when I shouldn't look or have no reason to want to know something, I can't not look, and I can't stop probing. I worry problems like a terrier worries a rat.
So this is an ongoing problem that James has. It's going to affect the way he plays Dex. It doesn't have any mechanical value or anything like that. It's just something he should keep in the back of his mind while he's playing. So, right. Dex, we are in your one-man private detective agency office in Bunker Hill. As you look around, it is the classic noir detective office. There's a ceiling fan on top just going around. You can't seem to turn it off for some reason. Just keeps going. There's a window on the corner. Part of it's been taped up because one of the panes broke. There's a beat-up couch in one corner that definitely looks like you got it off of the sidewalk. Just, you figured you need to put something in there to make it comfortable. You have your own chair behind your desk. Also very beat up, I might add, that desk. It looks a little bit nicer, and sitting across is what might have been from like a school auditorium. Really like crappy chair. And that's where the lovely client would sit. Now, as you look around the room, there is one specific item that is special to you, Dex Raymond. It has special significance to you. Can you describe that item to me?
Yeah, so the item of special significance to me is a cigarette holder. The kind of thing, they were metal cases about the size of a wallet that people used to hold their cigarettes in. This one's got a hole in it and then a dent in the back from where it caught a bullet, and it saved my life, and it's the closest thing that I have to a person I'm willing to trust is this cigarette holder. So before I go out, I always slip it into my breast pocket.
All right, you got that lucky cigarette holder. Very cool. So as I mentioned, times are tough in the private investigative business. You currently have no cases in front of you. And then one day, buddy, she walks in your office. She is cool, sultry, and you can tell immediately she's whip smart. She comes in and tells you something terrible has happened to my sister, and I need you to find out what.
And I motion for her to sit down on the chair. I get up and pick like a big pile of mail and papers off of it and put it onto my desk. And I say, all right, ma'am, have a seat. I want you to tell me everything you can about your sister. I'm Dex Raymond, P.I., and I stick out my hand, hoping that she'll tell me her name.
She shakes your hand in a confident, business-like grip, and then sits down on the chair. She says, my name is Margaret Deacon. And then she takes out a cigarette and holds it out for you to light it.
I, of course, go into my pocket and I sort of reach around. It takes me a while to eventually find some matches that are from a grubby motel that I got for free. And I light them and I hold the match out to her cigarette and light it for her.
So she lights a cigarette, and as she backs up, you make direct eye contact with her. Dex, would you please make me a cool check?
Oh, yes, a cool check. So, Dex Raymond has one die in cool. So I am going to...
I will tell you, because I can.
Ah, that's right.
Your advanced goal is 4. Your setback is 1.
Okay, all right. So let me... I'm going to roll a 6-sided die and roll 20 here. 6!
6?
Mm-hmm. I give her the coolest stare that I have ever given, and it just radiates, you can trust me, everything's going to be fine, as I stare deep into her soul.
You can see why 100 guys would fall in love with a woman this glamorous and smart. But buddy, you're not one of those guys. You have gained an edge. It is called Self-Possessed. A show of self-control gives you the confidence you'll need if this case gets scary. You can spend an extra die on cool or stability, or for a +2 on any other general/mental test.
Thank you.
That is something you have. You can spend it to give you a bonus. Pretty great.
Right. And Rudy, I think I know the answer to this, but just for people watching or listening, once I spend this, it's gone, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
So there are some that you can keep throughout the entire, case or adventure. But in this case, it is a spend and it's gone kind of a thing. It does stack, though. If you were to get another edge that allows you to roll 2 dice or something like that, you can do that. Also, just so people know, we are using a Google Doc between us to share the edges and problems that James has. If we were playing it together, I would actually have a card that I could hand him and he can have in front of him so he could look at it at any time, which is a really, really cool thing. I know as a player, I love when I have little handouts that I have. I just think it's a fun thing to have.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those are always awesome little props to have. But one of the things I think that's great about this is we can play it this way very easily digitally too, which is cool.
Agreed. All right. So Margaret tells you that 6 weeks ago, her sister went missing. 4 weeks ago, her sister reappeared, wandering downtown late at night, wearing only a blood-stained, dirty camisole in her slip. The cops picked her up, recognized who she was, and discreetly took her home. At this point, she kind of gives you a sly look and I'm sure you've heard of Deacon's Real Estate?
I, of course, have heard of Deacon's Real Estate, but refresh my memory. What do they have to do with you and your family?
Well, I am Deacon.
Oh, right, yeah. Super self-possessed over here.
Don't forget, use all those investigative skills you can, James.
Yeah, I'm going to use assessed honesty at this point, too, just to make sure that everything's on the up and up and she's telling the truth.
Yeah, she's definitely telling the truth about her sister disappearing and reappearing. She is a member of the Deacon real estate family. Yes, well, I am running the estate. My father, of course, was the founder and spent 45 years making it what it is, but recently he has decided to move on, and now my sister and I run the business. But, like I said, something is wrong with Helen, my sister. They brought her home, and she's been different. She doesn't talk. She doesn't, respond to us. All she does is stare off into the distance and mumble to herself. We've talked to all of these psychologists. They don't know what happened to her. They say it was a traumatic experience. That's all they know. We've talked to doctors. They say there's nothing wrong with her physically. We don't know what happened to her.
Let me ask you a question. So your sister has said nothing to you directly since she's come back about where she was or what happened.
She said nothing to anyone about where she was or what she's happened.
What has she been mumbling?
It's nonsense. It's like she starts to talk. It's like kind of like that. It's not words. It's just kind of consonants and I guess vowels as well. We talked to the police. They tried to do something about it or look into it, but nothing happened. And to be honest, I'm kind of okay with that. Helen, she's mixed up with some interesting people, and if they stay out of it, maybe it's for the best.
What kind of interesting people is your sister mixed up with?
Oh, I don't really know that well. She's got several different men in her life. We don't really talk that much about these kinds of things, but I've met a few of them, and they seem different.
I slide a pad of paper her way with a pen, and I say, why don't you write down any of the names of these men that you can remember?
She goes, okay, there is one. His name is... Daly. Marshall Daly. He's a writer for the movies. They made the movie with the girl, and then there's a guy with a gun, and he shoots and saves the girl. Capitol Pictures. That's it. Capitol Pictures. I met him a few times. Very handsome, very angry for some reason. Kind of set off on the easiest thing, and I would definitely say the jealous type.
Most Hollywood types are, sweetheart.
Don't call me sweetheart, please.
Oh, apologies. And I sort of rummage around in some papers, and then I say, so before your sister went missing, did you know where she was headed 6 weeks ago, before she came back? What was she last known to be doing before she went missing?
Like I said, my sister and I aren't as close as we should be. I know that I should have looked for her immediately, but I don't know. I just assumed that she would come back like she normally does when she's missing, and I assumed that she would just get better, and now I don't know what's happened, but I want to make sure that the people who did this pay for what they've done.
And so your sister often would go missing for how long before this 2-week stretch?
I don't know about missing, just we didn't communicate kind of a thing.
You're not close.
What? Things are complicated with us. We live at the same place, but she comes and goes, and I come and go, and sometimes you just don't see each other for a while, and that's kind of it.
I'm definitely assessing honesty here. Is there more that she wants to say? Or not but that she wants to say, that she's holding back something?
You do think that the way she's talking, it seems as though something might have caused this rift between them.
Okay.
But you're not sure what that could be.
So I'm going to use reassurance, and I'm going to spend a push.
Oh, boy.
And I am going to say, listen, All I care about is that the people who did this to your sister pay. But I can't do that unless you're completely honest with me. I promise that anything you tell me here will stay here, and I'll only be using it to help your sister and to help you.
Okay, yeah. She says, after our mother died 2 years ago, things just haven't been the same. Helen has always been a little bit of a wild child, but ever since then, she's just been all over the place, meeting with all sorts of strange people, not just including Marshall, but this group of people that, I don't know, it's just they talk about auras and secret masters and pyramids, or I don't know what they are. I remember she would always talk about the Argent Light and how everyone needs to be open to the Argent Light, otherwise we're all going to go insane or something. It sounded ridiculous.
Do you know where this group used to meet?
I don't. I really don't know anything about them.
One final question. How did your mother pass? Sorry to hear about that.
She died of cancer.
That's awful.
It is.
Well, if I needed to come around the house sometime and poke around your sister's room, would that be all right?
Yes, I think yes. I think so. I believe you when you say that you want to help me find out who did this to her. So if you think it'll really help, then yes, you can come and you can try and talk to her if you want. I don't know. Maybe you could do something.
All right. Well, I'm going to look into some of these other leads, and I'll let you know if I need to come by the house. Just leave your number. And I slide her the pad of paper again.
She does. Remember, there's no cell phones.
Right. Yeah. No, I know. I need to call her from my my landline, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are those are a thing in the 30s, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You have to crank it first, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do want to do some research on Deacon Construction real fast before I sort of go anywhere else.
Oh, real estate. Deacon Real Estate.
Oh, yes. Deacon Real Estate, sorry.
Yeah, so like I said, this is a company that was founded 45 years ago. Or no, it was founded, let's say, 30 years ago by Roscoe Deacon, who, after spending 15 years working in the real estate business, decided to give it a go on his own. Also, I should note that, what year is this? This is like 1934 or something like that?
I think it's 38, right?
38, yeah, okay. So, same time as Raiders of the Lost Ark, or Last Crusade, one of those. But when the Depression hit, Deacon stayed strong and kept going. And that was kind of how it really... It kind of showed the power and the how well run the business was. It managed to stick through the Depression, and once it lifted, it really, really flourished. And it's really big in Los Angeles right now. It helps control a significant amount of property. But as she mentioned, her father, out of nowhere, left the business 2 years ago. Which might have,
when the mother passed away.
When the mother passed away. And James, as a man who's familiar with the underworld, you know that he's been slowly but surely gambling away his entire fortune in illegal casinos set up all over the city.
Oh, I'm going to write that down. Illegal casinos. I think what I want to do first stop is go see this gentleman caller, Marshall.
Marshall
the writer.
Daly, the writer.
Yeah. So Dex is a little uncomfortable around Hollywood types. They're a little too show-offy for him. I think that he doesn't like people who are constantly trying to be in the spotlight. And so he's very uncomfortable while he is on this movie lot.
Excuse me. First of all, sir, how did you get on the movie lot?
Oh, great question. That's a good question. Okay, so I will first approach the movie lot. Is there like a security guard who's kind of walking around there?
There is a little like security station. There's a guy inside who looks incredibly bored.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna approach that guy directly.
He kind of nods at you.
Mm-hmm. And I think the first thing I'm going to try is just to look sure of myself and walk right by him. See if that works.
All right. He nods as you walk right by him.
Nah. Give him the head nod.
All right. He nods back. You look like you could be an actor or something with that getup that you're wearing. Lots of people walk by.
Right. And then I'll mumble to myself like, oh, that never works. All right, good.
So you know that there is a specific area that the writers hang out in. It is actually called Typewriter Alley. Let me ask you what time of day it is as well. We'll say that your conversation with Margaret was in the evening, say around 5 o'clock.
Oh, all right. Well, I think I probably would have done some research and then waited until the next day and gone in the morning.
So it is the morning. She gave you a description of Marshall, and because you're, a private investigator, you are used to identifying people based off of not great descriptions, and hers was great. You're hanging out for a bit in the morning. You don't see your guy, and time is slowly passing by.
Interesting.
So it goes 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Do I see anybody else here in Typewriter Alley who looks like they might be a writer?
Yes, it's slowly filling up with different writers and becoming more and more crowded, but still no one matching Marshall's description. It is now 10, 11.
I'm going to find somebody who looks maybe like a more of a square, if you will.
Oh, sure.
Skinny, nerdy type writer, and walk over. And I'll say, hey, Dex Raymond, and stick out my hand to, give them a handshake.
He shakes your hand back and he goes, Dex Raymond, now that's a name. We're going to talk later, because I want your name, to be... And look at the way you dress! You, my friends, are inspiration for a character. And then he starts officially writing on a notepad.
So I'll use bargain and say to him, I'm a private investigator. I've seen a lot in my day.
He goes, it gets better and better, and then he starts writing.
I've got some great stories that I could tell you. But right now I'm actually working a case, and I'm wondering if you've seen Marshall about.
Oh. He rolls his eyes when you say that. Yeah, Marshall. He usually gets in at 1-ish. You know what it's like when you're real busy, and he does air quotes. When you're real busy writer, yeah.
Oh, I see. Does he have an office around here that I might be able to wait for him in?
No, he writes it. It's kind of set up like benches with typewriters lined, and you see that one of them, which is like a little area that's particularly messy, is completely empty.
I see. Well, I'd love to be able to. How many other people are in the room at the moment?
Oh, it's pretty filled.
It's pretty filled, except for his desk.
Yeah. Definitely.
And is it like cubicles, like there's walls, or is it like it's very open? So if I was, say, rummaging through his stuff, people would definitely see me.
It's pretty open. You get the feeling that these are like low-level writers. They're not the guys who get paid the big bucks. Right.
Got it. Well, I tell this guy, it was a pleasure to meet you. And about how late does Marshall work until, normally?
6 o'clock, same as the rest of us. But, he doesn't. He's on
the old 4-hour schedule. So why is it? I'll lean in and I'll say to this guy, if you could tell me about Martin, I could give you some of my cases, some real life drama. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I've heard some things that he belongs to a certain club. But,
and I say, would this club have anything to do with Argent Light?
No, I don't know what that is at all. He seems very sincere.
Okay. So what club are we talking about here?
I really shouldn't be discussing it.
I am going to use reassurance here once again and say, hey, listen, it's really okay. I'm not going to tell anybody. I don't know who anybody here is. And honestly, I approached you because everybody else kind of makes me uncomfortable. But you seem like you're the real deal. So I'm hoping I can get the honest story from somebody like you.
You know, I appreciate that. And it's not a matter of you finding out. It's kind of a matter of... and then he kind of really lowers his voice and says, other people finding out? Listen, if you want to know, wait for Marshall to go home or to leave today and just follow him around. And I'm pretty sure he takes out a planner and he nods that he will be going to the club this evening.
I give this guy a wink and I say, let's meet a little later, and I can tell you about some of my stories. Thanks for the meeting today.
He brightens up at that and goes, yeah, let me give you my card. And it's Dan Kaiser.
So I take his card, and I make a big show of putting it in my trench coat pocket, and then I walk out, and I'm like, I make a mental note to come back here a little bit before 6 so that I can follow Marshall when he's on his way out. And I think in the meantime, I would probably want to go see if I can talk to any of my cop. Actually, you know what I'm going to do?
Oh, what are you going to do?
I'm going to go see one of my sources.
Exciting. Which one?
I have a source named Madame Eva, who is a fortune teller who knows about the occult. I get stuck in the LA traffic on my way there.
Sure, the 1930s LA traffic.
So Madame Eva is a harmless grifter who can assist Dex with information on the worlds of the occult, spiritualism, and hermetic magic. She has the investigative skills Cthulhu Mythos and occult, which Dex does not have, which is a reason he would probably go to see Madame Eva.
She invites you in and she says, yes, Dex Raymond, the famous skeptic. Surprised to see you here. What would you like?
And I sort of nod as I come in and I say, you been drinking again, Eva? It's not even noon.
He's so funny, too. He's such a funny gentleman. Funny, skeptic gentleman.
And I have a seat, and I say, well, maybe I'm ready to believe some things that maybe you can tell me about a secret order here in Los Angeles.
Secret order? There are many secret orders. I run 3 or 4 myself. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific.
This one would have something to do with Argent Light. You know anything about that?
Yes, the Argent Light. Yes, I do know them. They're, I don't say leader, but I'll say leader. Is Miss Clara Nebel, seer and fortune teller to the rich and famous. Yes, Clara has the sight. She does. She doesn't quite know what to do with it, so she kind of, I want to say, fools those rich and famous to give her money, but she definitely knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that that this Madame Clara is new in this line of hocus pocus?
No. She's been around. She only caters to a certain clientele, and unfortunately, Dex, you don't fit into that criteria.
I take a look around the room at sort of the empty bourbon bottles, and I say, I guess I know who's more my speed.
So funny.
And I say, do you know where she operates?
She just gives you the location of where their little headquarters is.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I take note of that, and I say, you don't know about any sort of rituals they might be tied up in that would involve a young girl, say, went missing about 6 weeks back. Haven't heard anything about that, have you?
That is definitely not something I would know. I don't really associate with them because they take advantage of people. I don't do that.
No, never. I say as I hand her, like, you know, we have some arrangement, I assume, where I pay her for information. So I say no, never, as I hand her, you know, a fistful of money.
Information is very different than leading people astray with outrageous tales of dark forces. And you'll have to talk to her if you want the full details. You'll have to talk to her.
I intend to. So what time is it now?
It is 5:45-ish, or 5:30. You know that you have time to get back to Capitol Pictures, but it's definitely, from what Dan Kaiser told you, getting to the point where you assume Marshall would be leaving. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I make my way to Capitol Pictures, and I guess I probably would hang out in my car. Is there only one way in and on the lot, or are there multiple ways in and out?
There's only one way in and out.
Gotcha.
I would assume he'd be coming out a specific way. I assume you're going to be shadowing?
Yes, that is what I would like to do. I'd like to follow him without sort of tipping him off.
Cool. So why don't you give me a quick test, difficulty 4, of shadowing.
A quick test. All right, here we go.
You can use driving alternatively because you were driving as well.
Yeah. I'll take shadowing if that's okay, because I have 2 dice in shadowing.
Oh, great.
So shadowing, you when you have more than 1 die in a skill, you can roll them one at a time to see if you succeed. And if I have dice left over, I'll gain a push at the end of this, which is awesome. So I got 2, so I will roll the other die. With my next die, I got 1. So I failed the shadowing
test. How about that? So this is not a challenge. This is a test. There's no significant failure or holds, as I mentioned. But instead, as you're following him, you briefly lose track of him. And you're kind of sitting at a stoplight, and he suddenly shows up going the opposite direction. It's an intersection. And as he drives past you, he turns and looks into your car and makes direct eye contact with you, and then continues on his way.
Well, you know, Dex has to know. He can't not know. And so I'm going to pull a U-turn there in the middle of the street and follow him to wherever he's going.
Sure. So he is driving in a way that seems convoluted, as though he were trying to make sure no one was following him. And this happens before he spots you. That's why you lose him initially. But eventually he makes it to kind of a modest-looking home. There are a number of cars parked outside. As he parks, someone else parks and gets out, and you recognize another one of the screenwriters from Typewriter Alley, and they kind of make small talk, then walk inside. Eventually, at about, let's say, 7 o'clock, everyone who's going to get there seems to be getting there, and you can hear sometimes heated, talking inside of it.
All right, I'm going to get out of the car and sort of, I'd like to go up to the door, see if there's any sort of lookouts or that kind of thing. And if there aren't, I want to, poke my head in the window and sort of listen at the door, that kind of thing, to see what I can see and hear.
Sure. So there are no lookouts. There is actually a rather large window that opens up into what must be the parlor, where you see a group, maybe about 16, 17 men, all sitting in, they're kind of sitting and arranged around the room, and they're obviously talking in sometimes, one large conversation, sometimes a number of smaller conversations, and you can figure out very quickly that they're talking about communism and how they believe that communism truly is the way of the future. And, they all have different ideas of how it should be implemented in the country. They all believe that as members of Hollywood, that they have the ability to influence the masses. And as the evening winds down, they all kind of focus on the fact that they know Hitler and Germany and the Nazism is what they really have to target. And they have to make sure that subtly, they constantly say, we can't shove it in the masses' faces. We can't have, an Aryan walk by and take candy from a child, that kind of things. They want to make sure that there's subtext to their message that gets out to the other intellectuals of the country so that they can all rise up and strike a great blow for the cause.
So they want to take down Nazism and authoritarianism.
Yeah, they truly believe that communism would be best for America. And they think that they're on kind of the front lines to bring it forth.
This is thick.
So, like I said, the meeting winds down and people start to get up to leave.
Okay. I am gonna hang out, try to hide myself outside, and then slip back into this building when they've gone.
Sure. So this is a person's house. I want to.
Oh, gotcha. Again. Oh, that's right. Right.
So actually, you see as you're kind of slipping away, Marshall seems to be lingering. And
gotcha.
As you the people that come out, it seems like the only people left are Marshall and the host. And then, sure enough, he comes out as well, and all the lights in the house go out. It is dark. No one would see you if you were to do something.
All right. I'm going to go around to the back, and I will use my investigative ability, locksmith, if necessary, to pick the lock and open the door and start going snooping around in there.
Okay. So Marshall has gone back to his car. This is someone's house. It seems like a bachelor's house, the way things are kind of messed about. There's takeout containers all over the place, and I don't know. What are you looking for exactly?
I guess what I want to look for is there any sort of manifestos or bookshelves or that's what I'm trying to make this quick, obviously. Stack of mail, something like that I might be able to grab.
Sure. You see the Communist Manifesto. It's actually kind of out of sight, but it is framed and up against the wall. You also see different, magazines or newsletters that are speaking of communism and how it is the people's government and would be best for America.
Cool. I'll grab those letters. I'm going to leave the framed picture on the wall, and then I'll slip out the back.
Okay. Make a stealth check, please.
Okay.
We'll say difficulty 3.
Okay. I have 2 in stealth, so 5.
Okay. You pass, and you're sneaky, super sneaky, the sneakiest.
Yes, the sneakiest Dextrayman there is. So I'm going to slip out the back again, and since it's nighttime, I think it's time to pay a visit to Madame Clara of the Argent Light.
Can you make a sense trouble check for me?
Oh, crap. Yes, I can. So, again, I have 2 in this. So, Dex Raymond's got a lot of 2 dice abilities.
So, I don't say your advance is 5.
Okay. I rolled a 4, and then I rolled another 4.
Okay, cool. You sense, sir, that you're being tailed.
Interesting. Okay.
And, you can tell immediately that you're in your car or you're walking? I guess you're in your car at this point.
I'd probably be in my car, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that someone is following you in another car.
Can I tell what the car looks like? Or is it's nighttime, so the headlights and the...
you can tell. I don't know what cars there are in the 30s. It's a Chevy. I don't know. It's blue.
Okay, that's all I meant. I wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
Color, that kind of thing. Okay. So, got a blue car following me. How many? Just one driver?
Just one driver, yeah.
And it's not Marshall's car?
No, it is not Marshall's car. It's not any of the cars that were parked in front of the building.
All right. Dex, he knows the right thing to do is to try to lose this guy. But, Rudy, he has to know who this is.
Okay.
And so I'm going to try to...
turn the tables on him?
Yeah. I'd like to lead him down a dead end and then sort of pull my car, try to quickly reverse my car buy his, so this is me, and then box him in. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, give me a driving check. Advance 3.
Okay. All right, here we go. I have 1 in driving.
Mm-hmm.
So...
What'd you roll? I'm sorry, I don't have him.
A 4. I'm sorry, I rolled a 4.
Okay, yeah, so you already explained exactly how you get him, and get him you do. He is trapped in a way that he literally can't open his door. Either door, in fact. So he's kind of stuck. He can't get out of his car, and he can't get out of the area.
Gotcha. I roll down one of my windows and signal for him to do the same.
He does.
All right, what does this guy look like?
I have a description right here. He is obese and wheezy and old-looking. He squints at you when he looks at you, and he doesn't look frightened, but he doesn't look, I don't know, he just is neutral.
All right, I'm going to use...
I think you might be blocking me.
I'm going to use intimidation, and I'm going to spend a push.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm going to say, I'll be here all night, and I can wait you out any day of the week until my cop friends get here, unless you tell me why you were tailing me.
He goes, okay, yeah. I'm a freelance reporter. My name is Franz Spielmans, and I'm doing a paper on the Red Subversion, the Red Plague, in the Hollywood movie industry. You can tell that his English is lightly accented with German, in case my own accent work isn't clear enough.
Your accent work is great. And I'll say, oh, I see. So why are you telling me? I got nothing to do with the movies.
Well, you were at the meeting where the movie makers were discussing their Communist Manifesto, and you then broke into the house that the movie makers discuss such things. So I think you might be a piece of the story.
I am assessing the crap out of this guy's honesty.
Okay,
right
he is weaving in and out of the truth, we'll say.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna get up close to him, like slide over, and then I'm gonna reach my hand through the window to like grab his collar and bring him close, and use intimidation again to say, look, pal, I could have you locked up, or I could just punch you in the nose right here, right now. I need you to be completely honest with me. And then I'll say, while you were investigating Marshall and his friends, did you ever come across a girl by the name of Helena? Helena? Helen? Helen. Sorry. Just adding syllables to her name. You ever come across a girl by the name of Helen?
He is frightened by this. He goes, yes, I know about Helen. I know about her and her relationship with Alexander, Whitey Alexander, who's, you know that name. He is the head of one of the casinos. Oh, I'm sorry. I should also mention that Dex Raymond, as a man who is familiar with the underworld, James, if you want to ask me about illegal casinos or anything like that, you're keyed into that kind of thing. So cool. I should have told you this earlier. I apologize.
That's okay.
So when I mention these names, you don't have to like figure out who. You can just be like, "Who's that?" and I'll tell you.
Gotcha. Who is that?
Who is that? Well, Whitey Alexander runs a rug joint, which is the fancy illicit casino I mentioned earlier, called the Alegria. This guy Spielmans tells you that he knows that Helen and Whitey were not an item necessarily, but they were together often, and that he doesn't want anything to do with them because he doesn't associate with gangsters. He says,
well,
the most dangerous of whom is Phil Block. He's the accountant there, and buddy, if you're going to talk to him, you better have your gun out. because he will mess you up.
Phil Block. Interesting. And I say, well, you might have already gotten closer to Helen's story than you bargained for, buddy. And I say, give me your card.
His card?
Yeah. Right, he's an investigative reporter?
Oh, yeah. He gives you his card. It says, his name, which is Spielman's. And I say, now I might have found something in that house that'll help you break your story, and I might not have. But I'm going to need you to stop tailing me right now. And maybe at the end of all things, I can help you with your story since you've helped me with my case. And I'm going to use bargaining to try to get him to stop tailing me. He says, yes, he will. You also notice his address is on his card.
Mm-hmm.
And says, okay, yeah, I will stop. You are not involved with the story. I want nothing to do with you anymore.
I knew we could come to an agreement, and then I slam on the gas and reverse and tail out.
Cool exit.
Yeah. Do I get a cool guy exit push point?
You do not get a cool guy exit. Right?
I'd still want to go to...
You should give push points for fun role-playing anywhere in here, does it?
No, it does not. No, that was just me.
That might be too strong of a bonus to give a player.
I do, however, I would love to go and still make my way to Madame Clara.
So after your encounter with Spielman's, at this point it is pretty late. The meeting went for a few hours.
Sure.
And then after this kind of thing where that cat and mouse game that you had with him before trapping him, you drive by her. I mean, I don't know. I'm telling you, it's kind of late. If you still want to visit her, you would drive by and see that all the lights are out. And
yeah, I won't. I've already broken and entered once tonight. I'm not going to put my luck. So I will go back home and sleep. And then, so let me ask you, Rudy, about these illegal casinos. I assume they more operate at night, right?
Very much so, yes. They operate at night.
So, because it looks like, and would I assume Madame Clara, does she operate at night, or will I be able to go see her?
As you drove by, you saw an open-close sign that had been turned to closed. Which makes you think maybe it's like a walk-in kind of deal. In fact, yes, you see a sign that says walk-ins welcome.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then in the morning, she'll be my first stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go to her in the morning, and you visit her. She is a woman who is in her, you'd say, late 30s. She is wearing a turban when she greets you that has one of those, gems in the middle. She introduces herself to, Clara Nebel, pyramidologist, seer, and fortune teller, sir.
I roll my eyes, visibly disbelieving her, and I say, listen, lady, my name's Dex Raymond, although I'm sure I probably didn't need to tell you that, because you knew when I walked in the room, didn't you?
She seems very amused at your intense skepticism upon meeting her. And she says, Mr. Raymond, normally there's no way a man like you would afford even a brief consultation with me, but I find you very interesting immediately. I feel that we are connected in some way. So, how about you come on in and we have a conversation?
I say, well, that would be very nice, thank you. But know that I'm mostly interested in facts as I make my way to the back room.
Yes, facts. Aren't we all? It's kind of like a bungalow kind of style house. I don't know if I would say office, really. So you go into the back room, and there's a circle table with a sheet on it and a crystal ball, and she's like, let's move this. And she moves the crystal ball out of the way, and she's like, you come to talk to me, yes?
Yes, yeah, I've come...
About my beliefs, correct?
I've actually come to talk about Helen Deacon.
Helen Deacon. Oh, Helen, what happened?
When was the last time you saw Helen?
Helen, well, as I mentioned, it isn't cheap to be a member of the Order. What do we call it? The Order, Argent Lights. Helen would come to meetings, and she didn't speak to other members so much as wanted to speak to me, which, of course, everyone wants to speak to me, but time alone with me is not, how should I say this, cheap. I would like donations to our cause, and because Helen was unable to donate for 6 months or so, which I believe was because of her close-minded sister, we unfortunately did not get to speak as much as she would have wanted, I would assume.
I see. So she started showing up 6 months ago? Is that what you said?
No, excuse me. She started showing up 2 years ago. She came with some other very silly girls. But Helen knew about the truth, and she stayed. Would you like to know about the truth, Mr. Raymond? I'd be more than happy to tell you about it.
I'd love to know about the truth as long as it's the same one you told Helen.
Of course it is. You see, Mr. Raymond, mankind is under attack. The violence, the confusion, the anger that modern life brings us is from the actions of the dark races, who conspire with these ancient evil deities to plunge mankind into an eternal dark age. Only by empowering secret, special masters of the world can we combat these monsters and bring people to open their awareness to the Argent Light.
I would like to use Assess Honesty to see if she believes what she is saying.
She genuinely believes what she is saying.
And I'm going to say, and I'm going to say, this doesn't have anything to do with communism or Nazis, does it?
I mean, the man I mentioned, or did I mention him? Let me mention him. I do know one of these secret masters, and I know he does not care for communists very much. That is his particular interests outside of the wonderful work he does. But, yeah, he doesn't really like them.
Are you talking about Spielman's?
No, I don't know who that is. I am talking about William Dudley Pelly.
Is this a name I would know?
I would say no, but probably
okay.
Some research you could find out.
Mm-hmm.
He has met one of the gods that is on our side. The god Nodens.
Nodens?
Nodens is a Celtic god. I had to look it up. I don't know why they chose that god. It's pretty obscure. I was very confused when I read Nodens, because there's no explanation about who that is. But anyway. He has spoken with Nodens, and he continues to speak with Nodens. And he requires donations from the Order of the Argent Light to continue his conversation. And I, sir, am more than happy to provide it to him.
So this Nodens is real interested in money, huh?
No. You misunderstand me. I must give Mr. Pelly the money so that he may speak to Nodens. I can't imagine that Nodens has any interest in currency, let alone American currency.
Let me ask you something about this Mr. Pelly. Did he have any dealings with Helen Deacon when she was coming around?
No, only I speak to Mr. Pelly. The members of the Order come to me, and then I go to him.
And why might a member of the Order come to you?
As I mentioned, they are looking for someone to open their eyes, and I am that particular someone.
So other than telling me all this stuff about
all this truth.
evil races and people having their eyes open. How else do you help them? Is it like, what would you do with me, say, if I decided to come back here week after week, night after?
Well, if we were to meet personally, I could, of course, read your aura. I could see if there's any of those aforementioned ancient deities attacking you or causing you problems. And, of course, I could conduct protective rites for you to keep those deities away. There are a number of different things that I could do to help you not only see the light, but protect you and become a better person in the process.
And which one of these services did Helen Deacon want from you?
I noticed a spore of ancient gnawing evil on Helen, and I offered her the ability to conduct a rite on her, a protective rite, but ritual supplies are expensive, Mr. Raymond. Unfortunately, Helen said she would pay for it, never came through. I saw a vision of a great lever, once alive and constantly used, but now stilled. It was very clear to me.
A lever?
She couldn't afford it, so...
Like a big lever?
Lever, yes. Lever.
Huh.
Yes.
Interesting. And so this girl needed your help, and you wouldn't give it to her because she couldn't afford it.
My help and my time, sir. My time being the important word in that sentence.
I see. You think that maybe she was trying to get the money from somewhere else because maybe her sister didn't believe all this mumbo-jumbo?
I know that Helen was involved with gentlemen who have quite a bit of money. I don't know why she was not able to get the money from these gentlemen, but yes, I
know the names of these gentlemen?
Yes.
Whitey Alexander, perhaps?
You know Mr. Alexander yourself. He is scum, but he does have money, so...
Has he ever employed your services?
Never. And to be honest, I would turn him away. I can tell he is definitely one of the people that, well, he wouldn't be interested in opening himself up.
Just one more question.
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened if you had asked if Helen didn't get the money together in time? What would this ancient evil do to her?
Mr. Raymond, I can only see what is in front of me. If I were to see Helen again, why, I'm sure that, well, perhaps we could figure something out. Your speaking to me has perhaps guilted me a bit. I do feel that I could have done something to help her. I haven't seen her in many months, so I hope she is well.
I say, I'm going to spill the beans. I'll say, 6 weeks ago she went missing. 4 weeks ago she showed up covered in blood and had lost her mind.
Oh my goodness. Please, you must allow me to see her. She has suffered a mystical injury, and cannot be healed by blind science. I can heal her, but her sister would not let me see her.
So if I can bring Helen to you, you think you can get her to talk?
Absolutely. I don't know how to talk, but I could help her with her problem.
All right, let me see what I can do. And I walk away. I am totally don't believe this lady could help. But I also have to know if there is something she could do for Helen. I have to know.
I'm so delighted with you taking your problems so seriously. It's great.
So yeah, I'll go to the Deacon household now. I think it's time.
Okay, you are visiting Margaret again. She did invite you to come by to see Helen.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Margaret says, I think you can come here. Let's say you call her first, if that's okay, to make an appointment.
Yeah, I would definitely want to make an arrangement. I don't want to show up unexpected.
Sure. She says, okay, I can let you visit Helen, but only once. She's not good with strangers. I mentioned that she doesn't say a lot, except for the strange mumbling, but she can get worked up and have, I guess you could call them fits, that sometimes she's a danger to herself and might injure herself. So you can visit, but...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to say, if I bring an old friend of Helen's along, is that okay?
Well... Okay, maybe is it someone? Okay, yes, maybe that would help. Like I mentioned, I don't know much about the people that Helen was integrated with. So, if you were to bring an old friend, that would maybe help her spirits. But like I mentioned, you must be gentle around her, and you must speak gently, and we must make it quick. I'm sorry.
That's fine. We'll make it as quick as possible. So I am actually going to stop by and pick up Madame Clara.
Oh, she's pumped. She dresses up in what you can really assume is her finest, plumery. The turban that she was wearing earlier is gone, and now a turban with a very expensive-looking coin is in the middle. It does look like legit. And
I ask her, do you have to wear that?
She kind of goes, "Oh, Mr. Raymond, you know nothing," and just sits in the car.
Say, all right, and I tell her once we get to the Deacon house, I tell her to wait in the car until I come get her. That I need to clear the air with Margaret first.
Okay, so you come to the Family Manor. It is a 3-story neoclassical structure in Beverly Hills. Ooh la la, pretty fancy. A butler greets you at the door and asks you to wait while he summons Margaret. All
right.
Yeah.
While I'm waiting, I'm going to just do a cursory look around, see if there's anything I notice about the place that stands out, any book titles, any sort of notes that are lying around, that kind of thing.
No, it's a very well adorned building. You're standing in kind of the lobby area. You can see there's some very nice paintings. There's some artwork. As you are standing there up on the walkway and the stairways above, you see a portly older man kind of walk by, humming to himself. He doesn't even notice or pay much interest in you. He just kind of walks on his way.
Interesting. And he's not a member of the staff or anything?
No, he's definitely not. And in fact, he walks by a maid, and she kind of nods her head and gets out of his way.
Oh, I see.
He doesn't really pay attention to her.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll stop him as he walks by. I'll say, excuse me.
He turns and he looks at you and he goes, yes, what can I do for you, man, in my home?
And I'll say, you must be Mr. Deacon. And I put out my hand and I say, Dex Raymond, Private Eye.
Oh, Dex Raymond, Private Eye. Very nice to meet you.
And I say, I was so sorry to hear about the loss of your wife.
That kind of changes his demeanor. He was kind of in a jolly mood a moment earlier, and his his face falls at the mention of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, yes.
It seemed to be hard on your daughters as well, and I'm gonna sort of I'm gonna use reassurance and say, I'm just want you to let you know I'm gonna do everything that I can to help Helen. You can't think of anything to maybe tell me that would help me in this case figuring out what happened to her, could you?
That writer. That writer. I've heard things about him. Of him doing strange things down in Mexico. And those Argyle Star people, they hypnotized her. I think to embezzle our money. Yes, you must look out for them as well.
The Argyle Star. Do you mean the Argent Light?
Yeah, yes. What did I say? Yes, that is correct. Argent.
Interesting. Is there any reason that your daughter might have become obsessed with the occult after your wife passed?
Is that what they are? The occult? I thought that they were some sort of a church. And that, I don't know, that they were telling her about heaven or something? No, I had no idea that they were occultists. How foolish of her.
Yeah, indeed. Who would believe that stuff, right? Well, thank you so much for your time. Just going to wait for Margaret here, and then we're going to go see Helen, just for a little bit. We're not going to do anything too much to stress her out, I promise you.
So he, for some reason, he seems like in a very talkative mood.
So excellent.
He's just like, for 45 years, I was a winner. And then my wife died. And after that, I knew that I was a loser. And where's the only place a loser can go to be a winner again? The casino. Where any man on any night can be a winner. I'm going to be a winner again, my friend. And then he kind of waddles off.
You don't, and as he walks away, I'll say, you don't happen to, keep wanting to call him Whitey Bulger. You don't, go to those, Whitey Alexander casinos, do you?
Where else to be a winner but the best casino in town? And,
interesting.
His voice kind of breaks. He says, in town.
Yeah, I'll let him go at that. I'm going to pay Whitey a visit.
And it is the Allegria, just again. That's the name of the casino.
Gotcha, the Allegria. Gotcha, Allegria. Okay, cool. Yes.
Okay, Margaret comes on down.
So I am going to spend a push on reassurance once again with Margaret.
Okay.
And that is because I'm about to tell Margaret that Madame Clara is outside in the car. Because she thinks she can do something for Helen. She's not going to charge any money. She's not trying to take the family for a ride. But she does think she could help your sister. So I would like to, with your permission, come meet your sister and then bring in Madame Clara, if that's okay.
She is upset upon hearing Clara's name, but with your, I'm not say clever, but your reassurance and your promises. Oh, good, you're updating your number of pushes. Good.
Yeah, I have none left.
She accepts that bringing Clara in might have some sort of goodwill and says that she will allow it. But again, reemphasizes that you can only speak to her briefly, and you must be quiet and gentle.
Gotcha. So I go out to the car, reiterate that message to Clara that we have to be quiet and gentle. Like I'm like, if you start to get too loud, I will rip you out by your turban. So you need to make sure you stay calm. Use a little bit of intimidation to keep her in line. And then I will go ahead and walk with Clara in and then ask for Clara to just stay outside just for a minute while I see Helen, I guess by myself or with Margaret. If Margaret wants to be there, that's fine.
Margaret will there, and she has Helen does have a nurse as well.
Oh, gotcha.
And,
okay.
The nurse is waiting in there with her. When Clara enters, the only way to describe her entrance is like she swans in. It's like there's no audience, but you'd think that she is on a movie set right now.
Right.
She kind of exchanges pleasantries with Margaret. They are particularly frosty, and the nurse is giving her very cold glances. She is very resistant to the idea of not going in with you immediately, but she eventually acquiesces and says, okay, I will be out here, but in case I hear anything, I am rushing in at a moment's notice. So, Helen, here we go.
Okay.
Helen sits on the edge of the bed wearing a very nice new housecoat that Ella, who's the name of the nurse, has wrapped her in. At one point, as you walk in, the robe kind of falls open, and she's wearing like a nice nightie, and Margaret walks over and closes it again. She doesn't react at all to it being opened. She stares straight ahead, moving her lips as if mumbling, but again, it's just kind of that like nonsense gibberish.
Gotcha.
Her voice also, it sounds hoarse, as though she's been talking nonstop for a very long time.
Interesting. So I take off my hat, obviously, because I'm inside, and I say, Helen, I'm.
Let me pause you there. Dex Raymond, as you talk to her, do you make eye contact with her? She's staring straight ahead. Do you put yourself in front of her and make eye contact?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay. Give me a stability test.
Oh, crap. All right. Dex Raymond has 2 instability.
What are you saying to her, too? Let me...
I am going to just introduce myself politely, even though I was not expecting her to react. So I was going to say, Helena, I'm Dex Raymond. Your sister hired me to find out what happened to you. As I begin to look into her eyes. And then I was going to turn and introduce myself to the nurse, but I guess we'll see what happens, right?
So we have an advance 8, setback 4.
All right. Okay, so first die is a 1. So no possible way without taking an extra problem if that's even available.
It is.
Okay, let's see what the second die roll is. Is a 4, so I have a total of 5. All right, total of 5. I need a 3 or better, and right now I'm in a hold.
That is correct.
You know what? Let's make it interesting. I'll take the extra problem.
Okay, your problem is cold-blooded.
Ooh.
So I'm posting that. I'll read aloud. You maintain your sanity by cutting off empathy for others. When you spend a push on reassurance, roll a die. On an odd result, you do not gain the benefit of the push, and you discard this card.
Oh, cool.
So this is now in your, I guess we'll call it inventory.
Yes, my problem inventory. So then I will go ahead and add one more die. Which is a 4 for a total of 9.
Okay. For a moment, you are lost in her eyes, but you snap out of it, only momentarily shaken, and you gain an edge. That edge is called Bedrock Skepticism. The supernatural? Malign deities? What a load of hogwash. You'll never fall for that bunkum. and you can spend... Ooh, this is a big one. You can spend to counter a mythos shock problem.
Oh, yes, so and those are real... Yes. Those are like the worst of the worst problems, right?
We didn't talk about that. So I mentioned that there are different problems that sometimes they'll have mechanical penalties, sometimes they'll have continuity, like in-game story penalties. Mythos shock is a special kind of problem that can't be solved by taking time. It's something that shakes your character to their core and makes them question the universe, makes them question reality. And the only way to get rid of a mythos shock is to have some sort of edge that will cancel it out, that will counter it. I think that's correct, James? There might be other ways you can do it.
That is correct.
And, at the end of the game, if you have any mythos shocks remaining, when the player and the GM kind of work out the epilogue, that'll be a big part of it.
Right, exactly. Okay.
So, great. Now we got another test.
Yes.
Because...
Oh, we got another test.
We do. Because you can't help but notice that Helen, like her sister, incredibly attractive.
Ah.
And Mr. Raymond, you, sir, you can't help but be the type of person, the type of man that wants to protect women who have been hurt or injured. So if you would roll a cool test for me, please.
Okay, cool. Which I have 1 in.
Our advance is 5.
Okay, here we go. 5.
Okay. You can see why someone might fall in love with this beautiful, damaged woman. That someone would consider himself her white knight and swear to revive her from troubled sleep, so he could live forever with her in a magical castle. Fortunately, you're not that kind of someone. And you gain another edge. This one is self-possessed. A show of self-control gives you the confidence you'll need if this case gets hairy. Spend for an extra die on cool or stability, or for a +2 bonus to any other general/mental test. So this actually...
I have 1 already, so I'll have 2 then.
You will. So like I said, these stack. You can use them together on one particular roll, or you can use them independently. It'll go away, and then you can use another one later.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. That's awesome. Then
Also, this all happens within, it's like seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm like resisting the mythos, and then I'm like, oh, what a beautiful lady.
Exactly.
And then I'll turn to the nurse and also introduce myself, and I'll say, Dex Raymond, nice to meet you.
She nods politely.
And then I will call, and I'll say, Helena, there's someone here who wants to see you. Is that okay if we bring her in? And I assume there is no response.
You are correct.
And then I will sort of motion at the door to bring in Madame Clara.
When Clara comes in, Helen seems to relax. And the mumbling that she has been doing throughout the conversation, or I don't even know if you call it that, the mumbling stops. It seems like Clara's presence is enough to relax Helen a little bit. Clara looks at Helen like a mother whose daughter has been lost, and she's finally seen her again. And she rushes over and puts her hands on the sides of Helen's face and looks into her eyes and then screams and flies across the room,
holy crap,
eyes wide, and screaming incoherent phrases about hungry jaws and tumbling eons. She's all over the room. She's knocking things over. Chairs are falling to the ground.
I'm going to grab her.
Okay. Well, let me ask you first. Dex Raymond, you're a guy who deals with the underground world. You're a guy who deals with seedy characters. Dex Raymond, do you carry a gun with you?
I do.
We're going to do an athletics check.
Oh, no.
As you move to grab her, your jacket opens up and your holster is clear. And Clara reaches for your gun.
Oh, my God.
We have an advanced 10 athletics.
10?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Setback 4.
Okay. So, I have 2. So, first die is a 4.
Okay.
Not bad. Second die is another 4. And then I'm going to use one of my self-possessed to get +2 to make it 10.
You get another edge. This is
right.
called Whew. That's a hard word to say. It's not sincere, yeah. Spend for a push of any kind or an extra roll on any test. Ooh, what a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, nice.
Whew. So, yeah. You managed to push her away, but because you're fumbling with your holster, she did manage to unhook it. You see that her eyes are like darting around the room, and it's crazed, and you definitely feel like she's looking for another way to kill herself.
I want to grab her, like, tackle her basically, and drag her out of the room.
Okay. Why don't you give me a let's see, maybe another.
Can I punch her?
I don't want to say punch her,
cool.
but I think, let's say you can use fighting to kind of tackle her and hold her down, we'll say. Wow, what a terrible... to restrain, you know what I mean, like...
I hear what you're saying, yeah, to do what I want to do.
To tackle her and hold her down. Good job, Rudy.
Okay, what am I going for here?
Let's see, we'll say she's not like a big person, and you are pretty adept at fighting, but she does have insane fervor, so let's go with 4.
Okay. 6 on the first die roll.
Okay, so you're able to restrain her, and she's still like screaming and freaking out.
Okay. Is Helen like in a wheelchair or?
She's sitting on the edge of a bed.
Gotcha. And
she just started like mumbling again, more audibly, I would say, louder than when you first saw her.
And Clara isn't doing anything other than trying to get up.
Trying to escape from you and screaming and freaking out. Ella has moved to the corner of the room. It's kind of like sunken down. And Margaret has actually placed herself between Clara and Helen in a kind of protective stance. Although she obviously looks very, very disturbed and frightened as well.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna say to the to Ella, the nurse, right? That's the nurse.
Yes.
It's Ella.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give her a. Come on, I need some help over here. And then I'm going to try to move Clara out of the room.
Okay.
And then look at Ella and say, rope.
Okay, Ella dashes out of the room, and you hear her calling for the butler to help out, who was the guy who let you in. And she returns with the butler and rope, and the butler helps you to kind of... tie and Clara up, so that she can't really get up. She definitely can't hurt herself. She's kind of pinned to the ground, and I mean, do you just want to? She's still like freaking out.
I want to get her out of there and like throw her in the backseat of my car or something.
Okay.
Or actually, can I get her? I just want to see, does she calm down when I get her out of the room? Or is she still crazy?
You think that she is a little bit calmer. She's not screaming quite as shrilly or as loudly, but her eyes are definitely still frantic, and it's not just insanity. It's like intense fear.
Gotcha. Wow. This is insane. I think I need to take her to see my friend, Dr. Jeff McIntosh.
Okay.
The shrink.
So the screaming, I mentioned Helen's voice also going hoarse from constant talking. Well, her voice kind of goes hoarse from constant screaming, or yelling, if you will.
Gotcha.
And you do manage to get her in your car and calm her down to the point where she's somewhat restrained. But again, every now and then she'll just start going off again, just screaming about wolf-faced creatures and teeth. She says the teeth a lot. And the hungry teeth. She calls out for Nodens, who's that Celtic god that I mentioned earlier.
Weird god.
To save Celtic her or to just strike her down so she doesn't have to see it anymore. It's pretty disturbing.
So I'm trying to... first, I'm trying to reassure her that everything's going to be okay.
Okay.
But I need to roll a die first because I have that cold-blooded problem.
Are you using a push, or are you just using the skill?
I'm just using the skill. Oh, does it need to be a
push? Yeah. Okay, you know what? I am going to say that your reassurance, because you have also kind of restrained her and gotten her out of the room, your reassurance really... you don't have to push. It really does calm her down to the point where it seems like she's making sense.
Gotcha.
And she manages to describe some things, but she's very reticent to do so. And she says, I never will speak of this again after I tell it to you, and I pray that I will be able to forget someday.
Okay.
She saw hairless, wolf-faced creatures dashing at the bars of a cage. And she saw horrible hieroglyphics, which for a moment I understood.
What did they say?
The moment was fleeting. All I knew is that they were evil, and that they were part of whatever it is that's causing all these problems in this world.
Oh. Do you know where these... you saw the cage. Did you see where it was? Was it in a basement or a bar, a house, anything like that?
All I saw was the cage, and above I heard banging, metal on metal. It was distant, but it was above me.
Interesting. I am going to use assess honesty on the answer to this question. If I untie you, are you going to hurt yourself or anyone else?
No, I think I'm okay. Thank you, Mr. Raymond. Thank you. And then she
so I will. I'll pull over and untie her so she can sit up front, and I'll say, "It's okay. It's okay. You know, there was something weird about that Helen's eyes. I felt it a little bit too when I looked into her."
So by the time you dropped her off, she does seem more. Actually, yeah. So by the time you dropped her off, it does seem like her terror is receded, but she's still visibly shaken.
Got it. So I'll give her one final sort of reassurance and say, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and then you'll be safe and you can forget it. And I'll let you know. I'll just give you a phone call to let you know that everything's okay.
She just kind of looks at you sadly and says, none of us will ever be safe, Mr. Raymond. And then closes her door.
All right. Well, that was messed up. So I drop off Madame Clara, and Dex Raymond, natural skeptic, is visibly shaken by what he has just seen.
Oh my.
And he decides it's time to go to the Allegra.
So you wait until evening. You know that the Allegria opens at wonderful 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it gets really hopping more towards 10:30, 11. So it's at the end of a long, sloping road in the suburb of Burbank, not so far from the Warner's, Universal, and Disney Studio lots, nestled in a sprawling ranch-style house. You know that Whitey Alexander runs it. You have figured that out before. Whitey is a member of The System, which is an Anglo mob run by a former vice cop turned crime lord named Guy McAfee.
Wow.
Being a former cop, it means that his connections in the LAPD allow him to pay them off to look the other way if things get particularly difficult. Whitey enjoys being a mobster, and he's the kind of person that you know can depend on to treat you right if you're not in his way or the kind of person that helps him line his pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So, James, I would like to offer you the opportunity, and I know you don't have many of these left, but if you have a pre-established, respectful relationship with Whitey, I would like you to spend a streetwise push.
Ooh, interesting. Let me ask you a question. This is where Phil Block also is, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Then, yes, I will spend that push.
Okay. So, obviously...
So I have no pushes left for those of you keeping track at home.
You know, you and Whitey, while you have that relationship, you're not pals. Dex Raymond is a man of principle. He's not a man that does these illegal things. But nevertheless, Whitey trusts you enough to talk to you if you ask, and responds in a forthcoming manner. Basically, the way he looks at it is, you know, for a dick, you're all right, Raymond. And I mean dick as in detective, not as in jerk or whatever. Right. New Jersey style of saying it. I would actually like you, James, to explain what Dex did for Whitey to cause this relative comfort level between you.
So, there was Whitey being who he is, a criminal. He is often a suspect in many cases, many of which he, is actually the perpetrator of the crime in, or the people who work for him are. And he had his right-hand man was accused of a crime that he actually did not commit. Accused of beating up a woman and taking her pearls. And Dex Raymond got to the bottom of it and exposed the real criminal, who was just sort of some common street thug, and got Whitey's right-hand man off the hook, even though he is wanted for he has committed other crimes. He got him off the hook for a crime he did not actually commit.
Yeah.
And so he and Whitey are tight because he got his friend.
I don't know that tight.
Yeah. He respects me, let's say.
The idea of Whitey, beating up somebody to take their pearls is outrageous. And you know immediately that there's no way Whitey Alexander would do something
exactly
so blatant and so, foolish.
He's got people who do that.
Exactly. And even then, it's kind of beneath him to just beat up somebody to take their stuff. He's the kind of criminal that he tries to stay out of everybody's way with his crimes. You know what I mean? He wants everybody to have a good time. He's not the kind of guy that wants to kill people or whatever.
Exactly.
Anyway, the Allegria, buddy, this is one swank joint. As you walk around, you can't help but notice movie stars and singers. You see Chico Marx, one of the Marx brothers.
Yeah.
Speaking and flirting with the hat check girl. You see Bing Crosby throwing dice at the craps table. There's roulette. There's blackjack. There's poker. It's pretty fun. You gotta admit, it's a pretty fun place. It feels safe too. You notice bodyguards kind of throughout the room, and It's clear that, they're packing heat. You can tell from the bulge out of their holsters and their jackets. But it's not, terrible in that respect. You feel like they're there just to make sure no problems break out. Not to, force anyone to gamble or anything like that.
Got it. Sure, yeah, they're keeping the peace.
You do see Roscoe Deacon among the players as well, and he is looking particularly happy, which is nice.
I try to take a special note of Roscoe. Is he particularly weighted on, perhaps? He's a high roller? Is he treated as such?
No, not at all. He has to go to the bar to order his drinks. No one will bring them to him. Mm-hmm. He is not a high roller.
Gotcha. Okay.
He does look pretty drunk.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I am...
You do know people in the casino. One of the guys that works for Whitey. That you kind of have, again, that kind of more of a friendly relationship is a guy named Burl Treehorn, who's kind of like a pit boss kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go up to Burl and say, I'll give him the old handshake, the old nice to see you.
Yeah.
And I'll let him know I'm here to see Whitey Bulger.
Not Bulger, but...
Oh, right.
Oh, they're going to have to fast forward 40 or 50 years and head out to Boston.
I'm here to see Whitey Alexander. If he's not feeling like he can talk at the moment, let him know it's about Helen.
Oh, okay, yeah. He nods. Definitely his eyes light up when you mention Helen. And he says, I'll go talk to him right away. And while you're waiting, Dex Raymond... Buddy, everybody's having so fun in this joint. You can't help but think you want to jump in. You're on the job, but who knows, it might be your night. So why don't you give me a cool check to see if you can remain focused or if you're going to sit down at a table. We're advance 7, setback 3.
Oh, man. Okay. Dex Raymond has 1 die in this.
Okay.
Oh,
what'd you roll?
A 1.
Oh no.
Let's see. Do I want to spend something for another die? Or do I want to see how this plays out? Yeah. Let's make it interesting. Let's see how this gambling thing plays out. Dex Raymond sits down at a table while he's waiting for Whitey.
So you do see a lot of people are having fun, man, but you don't take notice that a lot of people are not having fun, man. A lot of people look pretty upset and miserable because they're losing all their money. And you are now one of those people.
Oh.
You have gained problem gambling debt.
Oh, crap.
Which is a continuity. You owe more than you can pay to someone who never forgives a debt. If you can't come up with the money, you'll have to find a big something else to counter this problem card.
Oh, crap.
Before we started, we did talk about how if you end the game with certain problems, they could have dire effects on your character. I will tell you, James, this is one of those effects.
You're not kidding.
Furthermore, when Burl comes to tap you on the shoulder to let you know that Whitey is ready to speak with you, you kind of brush him off and try and remain focused on your game. Mm-hmm. So eventually you do get up, and Burl's like, all right, we can take it to him, but he's not going to be happy.
Made him wait. Crap.
You did. As you are walking to the back of the casino, you also notice a nervous-looking man who's kind of shrimpish and wearing a pinstripe suit, carrying a folder bulging with adding machine tapes and pieces of paper. He checks his watch as he walks back past you and speeds up a little bit.
Gotcha. And I say, who's that?
And Burl's like, huh? Oh, that's Phil.
Phil Block?
Yeah, Phil Block. Listen, you gotta go talk to Whitey, buddy. You can't be asking me about Phil Blocks.
And I just say to Burl, I was told that if I ever talk to that guy, I'd need to keep a gun on him. That guy?
It's like, are you kidding me? Phil Block would shoot himself if he had a gun. You're not going to need to shoot Phil Block. You can kind of gently push him, and he'll kind of do whatever you tell him to.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I go in to see Whitey.
He's sitting at his desk. It's a very nice office. There's hunting trophies. All the furniture is oak. You can't help but feel a little bit jealous of this nice couch compared to your found on the side of the road couch. And you notice a large rifle rack with rifles on it. And
wow.
They're not opened. They are closed and perhaps loaded. You don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
Whitey is kind of visibly upset. He goes, I'm a man for whom time is very important. And so when someone comes and asks me to spend some time with that person, I have to move things around to make the time. And then when that time passes and I don't get to do the business I was supposed to do, I need to make more time to meet with this person again. So, Mr. Raymond, obviously I am meeting with you, but you have wasted quite a bit of my time already. So how about we make this nice and quick? What would you like?
And I'll say, well, you won plenty of my money in that time, so you can think of it that way.
Yes, and I can't wait to be paid that money, because I do believe you took it out on credit.
Listen, I got something worth more than money for you, but we'll get to that eventually, Whitey.
What do you want to talk about Helen for?
When was the last time you saw Helen?
The last time I saw Helen was the last time everyone saw Helen 6 weeks ago.
Did you know she turned up 4 weeks ago?
Yes, I did know she turned up 4 weeks ago, but I'm not the kind of person that goes gallivanting over to Deacon Mansion to visit Helen. Because, what we had it wasn't public, okay? I love that gal. And if I knew what I could do for her, I would do it. But if Deacon can't figure something out, then what am I going to do, all right?
Well, when did your relationship with her start?
I don't know. I guess a year and a half ago or so.
I want to assess his honesty about saying he loves her.
Oh, yeah, he's sincere. He does seem to genuinely care for her, and he does seem upset that whatever happened to her.
Cool. And does he have anything, like, I'm looking around, like, does he have anything on his desk or, related to her or to the occult?
No, it's just like dumb rich gangster stuff. Like I mentioned, there's the rifle tables out in the open.
Gotcha.
There's the all sorts of different things.
So I'll say to him, well, did you know that she had gotten mixed up with this Argent Light place?
Yeah, I've heard of them. They sound ridiculous and stupid, but if it made her happy to go visit those goofballs, then whatever, go talk to them. She had a lot of issues with her mother. The whole family had a bunch of issues with the mother dying, so whatever.
More than just passing away, you mean?
What?
I mean, when the mother passed away, was it suspicious at all?
No, she died of cancer.
And then the father started coming here, right?
Yeah, he did. He really started to let's say he and you had a similar problem once upon a time, but things have worked out between me and him. Can't say the same for you, buddy.
So how did things work out between you and him?
Just, he's Helen's father, so I kind of, we worked something out.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah?
if I can figure out who did this to Helen, can I get the same deal? And I'm going to use so I'm going to use my whoo. Yeah, my whoo on a bargain to gain an extra push.
Okay, cool.
And use the push immediately.
Let's see what your problem was on reassurance. Okay, great. Yeah. So he goes, you figure out what happened to Helen and how to fix her. Mm-hmm. You got yourself a deal.
How to fix her, huh?
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. You ever hear of a screenwriter down at Capitol Pictures named Marshall?
No, I've never heard of Marshall.
You know, he was also seeing Helen then.
What? He slams his fist down the table and stands up in super anger. What did you just say? Did you say my girl was two-timing on me?
I'm saying that she was going to see this guy. Now, I don't know what they were doing together. All right? And I'm trying to give him a reassurance that nothing is known, that I don't know anything. But I'm saying there was more to Helen than you knew. And there's certainly more to Helen than I knew. So I need you to tell me everything you can about her if you want me to save her.
First off, you need to tell me what this guy's full name is.
And I said, listen, I've got a better way to take him down, but I really need to know anything suspicious about Helen. I need you to tell me anything weird, and I need you to tell me 6 weeks ago when she disappeared, did you know what she was going to do?
You're out of pushes?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, he's too focused on this new guy in the picture, James.
Okay, well then I say, I've got something for you there. And I pull out the communist letters and manifesto stuff, and I throw it on the desk, and I say, if you want to do more than put that guy away, you could ruin his life. He's going to a meeting, nightly meeting.
I don't think it's nightly, but
he's going to a meeting every now and then. He's a communist.
Buddy, this is better than anything I could have done for him. This is good. Okay. All right. Helen, things were fine. I've got all sorts of problems going on. I can't really deal with Helen. There was some talk. I don't know.
So you didn't know where she was going 6 weeks ago?
I didn't.
Is there anybody else she talked to when she would come to the casino?
I thought I saw her talking to Block once or twice. But, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. Burl. Burl's standing outside the door. Do you ever see her talking to Block? He goes, yeah, maybe once or twice, while he was walking out, she might have said hi or whatever. I don't like that. No one talks to her but me.
Well, then maybe you should get your ass over there and see her.
You know what? I think I've been very kind to you.
You have been very kind to me, Whitey, and I just ask for one more kindness. You mind if I have a few words with Mr. Block?
As long as you don't mess up with the bookkeeping, I don't care what you do to Block. I do want you to get the hell out of my casino, though.
And I nod and I say, I'll see you when my debt is paid.
Yeah, and believe me, buddy, if that debt isn't paid, you'll be seeing me no matter what.
And so I'm going to walk out, and then I'm going to go...
Whoop. As you walk out,
Whoop.
A car explodes!
What?
Give me an athletics check. Advanced.
Oh my god.
Advanced 10.
So unexpected. Athletics. Okay, I got 2. What's the push? Or the advance?
10.
10. All right, I got a 4. Mm-hmm. And a 3 for a 7.
Okay.
I think that... Let me see. Okay, I will... I could take an extra problem, right?
You could. You're in hold range right now.
Yeah, I'll take the hold.
Okay.
That's fine.
You dodge out of the way, but your clothes are a little singed, especially around the edges of your very nice trench coat. You expect to hear some smart-ass remarks from people until you can change into a new suit.
Are there whose car was it? My car?
No, it wasn't your car. A bunch of people run out, and Bing Crosby goes, "Oh, I just bought that!" And Whitey comes out too and is like, "Oh, Bing, listen, this was not about you. This was a thing that I'm dealing with. You know, don't worry about it. I will have the car replaced. I'll get you a nicer car. You want a nicer car?" And they kind of like talk, and Whitey brings them back in. As you are kind of surveying the scene, you notice two men sitting in front of a dinged-up Ford coupe. Everyone is freaking out because a car just blew up.
Right.
But these two guys seem cool as cucumbers. They don't seem like they seem like they may have expected
a car to blow up.
That. Yeah. So moments after you kind of notice them, the driver turns on his key and starts to drive off.
Yeah, I'm gonna shadow those guys.
Oh yeah. Shadow 11.
Oh, 11.
Or Advanced
okay.
11. Setback 4.
Okay. All right, so I have 2 in shadow, so here we go. 11. All right, I got a 5 and a 4 for a 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I will use my second self-possessed for the +2 bonus to make that 11.
All right. You follow the car to magazine warehouse downtown called A.M. Hillier & Co. They give no indication that they saw you following them. You have earned another edge. This one is called Upper Hand at A.M.H. Hillier's.
Oh, nice.
Let me find it here.
A.M.H. Hillier's.
Yes, here we go. At any time in or around the magazine warehouse, gain a free push or an extra die on any test, then discard. This is when you're in or around. While in the warehouse, you get lucky breaks at no cost without discarding this card. If you still have this card after leaving the warehouse, discard it in any non-Mythos shock problem.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Okay.
So, as you know, lucky breaks are like instant escape options, usually, is what they're... It's like you're running away from a bunch of guys chasing you on a dock, and then you see a boat.
Gotcha.
Escape with a lucky break. Usually it would require you to spend a push or an edge, but you can use it for free with this edge.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we should do what the card says, Rudy.
Okay, so it is nighttime. Would you like to try and get in this warehouse at night, or would you like to wait until later?
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is go home and do some research on A.M. Hillier's.
Okie dokie.
And then in the morning, I'm going to go approach.
Yes. Okay. A.M. Hillier's. What kind of... Is research a skill? I don't think so, right? Just research?
It is. It is an investigative
You have it?
ability. Yeah.
Okay. So A.M. Hillier's is a crooked nationwide magazine and newspaper distribution company recently taken on by East Coast mob tycoon Meyer Lansky as a silent partner. He forces its local manager to let his people use it as an unobtrusive meeting place. Ben Bugsy Siegel. Nope, never mind. Boop, 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 boop.
Okay.
So,
All
okay,
right.
you know that Ben Bugsy Siegel is in town, and that he has a small retinue. So Bugsy is an East Coast mob guy who has recently come out west, and you know that he is trying to muscle in on the guy that Whitey works for. That's McAfee. I don't remember the former police officer. They're having this kind of... It's not a war by any means, but it's this like subtle tete-a-tete where one of them is trying to move in on the other's turf, where Bugsy is trying to move in on the other's turf.
Gotcha. Interesting. Bugsy. Okay. Huh. And so that's why a car might blow up in front of Whitey's.
That is very
place.
much why a car might blow up in front of a McAfee, not owned, but I don't know. Have we talked about that? Sorry, that Whitey pays like protection money to, or pays a cut to McAfee. I think we talked about that.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's important.
Okay.
Whoopsies. No.
So Whitey is under the thumb of McAfee.
Yeah, he owns the casino, but it's McAfee's town. So if you're doing something illegal, you gotta pay. You gotta pay the boss. You know what I mean?
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. So, and that would be, right, if he can mess up business at the casino, it hurts McAfee
Exactly.
then.
It ultimately hurts McAfee, which kind of maybe people will go to one of the casinos that they're opening or something to that extent.
Interesting. Oh, man, this is layered.
It is. And there's a wonderful chart explaining all the layers, including
really?
relationships. Yeah, it's really good, which, we'll talk about that in the review. So the question is, Jamesio.
Yes, sir.
Quite a few leads now.
I do. I could go all over the place, right?
Okay.
So, let's see. I could go see Phil Block.
Mm-hmm.
I could go back and try to talk to Marshall again. I could go... Oh, William Dudley Pelly, too. He's another dude that I haven't spoken to. He's all about the Nodens. I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go talk to Phil Block first.
Okay.
Phil Block, yes.
So, you were doing a bunch of research last night, including where does Phil Block live? Which it is not difficult to find now that you know his name. He lives in a not so great apartment in Echo Park.
Oh, Echo Park.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, so Mr. Block, sorry that you can probably hear my scroll wheel. That's just me getting back to my character
Clicking
sheet
like
after.
a crazy man, so don't worry about it.
You're looking like a crazy man?
I've been clicking like a crazy man.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stride right up and bang real hard on the door. I think intimidation is the way to go with this guy.
Absolutely. He starts to open the door, and was like, what are you doing?
And I say, oh, Mr. Block, how are you? Dex Raymond, you saw me last night probably at the casino?
I don't know. When I go in the casino, I do my business and I leave as fast as possible.
Well, I was there investigating the disappearance of Helen Deacon. Do you mind if I come in?
Okay.
So I come in and I shut the door and I look around at what I assume is his meager apartment.
It is meager, but it is very well kept, very uniform. It has a sort of Spartan tinge to it, but it's very almost like military-esque in terms of you see books very cleanly sorted and stacked in shelves. You see a file cabinet that is, very clearly marked with what each cabinet contains. It's a very, like the kind of house that you think an accountant would have.
I will sit down very comfortably, casually on his couch and stretch my arms. On one of the chairs. I'm trying to make myself more comfortable in his home than he is, which seems like a pretty ezy thing to do with this guy.
Very much so. He kind of shrinks into another chair.
And I'll say, you're a weird guy, Blocks. I talked to a fella named Spielmans who told me that, I talked to you, I'd have to keep my gun on you at all times, but, you don't look like that kind of fella to me.
That kraut bastard.
I'm using assess honesty while he's responding.
Yeah. He's, this is sincere.
Okay.
You know what he did? You know what he did? He came to my house, okay? He took a picture of me and Helen together, and he tried to blackmail me. But I told him I work for Whitey Alexander, and he'll kill both of us if you show anybody those pictures. Dummy, he didn't realize how scared I was, but he ran right off, and I haven't heard from him since.
So you had a relationship with Helen, too?
Helen. Helen and I had something special. At least I thought we had something special. No woman would talk to old Phil Block. But Helen was different. She talked to me, and we talked a lot. And one time, she was like, Phil Block, meet me in hotel room. And I was like, oh! And when I went to see what she wanted, she told me she wanted a copy of Whitey's books. And, I should have said, no, this is Whitey's girl. You're not supposed to talk to Whitey's girl. He'll cut you into lots of pieces. But, I couldn't help myself. I said yes. And I gave her the books. And then that was it. She didn't talk to Phil Block no more. Nobody talks to Phil Block.
So, wait, you didn't actually have any kind of romantic relationship with her then?
We had more than something physical. It was...
I see. What was it, Phil? I will walk over to Phil, and I'm going to...
It definitely seems like he's been looking for an outlet to tell someone. Obviously with his job, he's frightened, I would assume.
Yeah. And I'm gonna use reassurance, and I'm gonna say, listen, Phil, I understand. You're scared. You work for a mobster, but you have this meager apartment. You should be making money hand over fist. And a beautiful girl wants to talk to you. I get what that's like. I understand. You're just a man. You're just a human trying to make your way here in this crazy city. Probably wanted to get into the movie business doing accounts for them, but somehow you ended up doing them for Whitey Alexander. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm going to need to see those books that you showed to Helen.
No. Okay.
Then I switch to intimidation. And I say, listen. This girl's life is on the line. If you want to save her and help yourself, you better show me what was in those books right now.
If I show you what was in those books, my life is on the line, okay? Helen walked away. I don't know her anything, buddy. So if you're gonna, beat me up or whatever, go for it. I'd rather been beaten up than killed. And, cut into pieces.
Don't you think I'll be killed too if Whitey knows that you showed me the books?
Well,
we'll both be killed. Your secret's safe.
I'll be killed worse.
Then I'll say, all right, listen, I understand. Is it okay if I use your bathroom?
Yeah, you want to find the books. I bet I know who she gave it to.
Who?
McAfee.
McAfee?
Yeah, because, Whitey's skimming off the top.
I see.
So, McAfee.
You think maybe she wanted to look at the books to save her father?
No, they figured out they got a deal going.
So you think she was gonna? Why would Helen want to turn in her Whitey to McAfee?
Because she likes the writer guy. Roscoe owes Whitey money. Helen sleeps with Whitey. Roscoe doesn't owe Whitey money?
Right. And so...
Also, Helen loves other guy.
So she can get...
Clock, unfortunately.
Stop. So she could stop sleeping with Whitey if she gets Whitey out of the picture.
Exactly. I know this because I listen. That is the most important skill, is to listen. That's why I love talking to her. She talked and I listened.
Sounds like a great relationship.
You can leave now.
It still doesn't explain. If she talked a lot, did she tell you 6 weeks ago where she was going?
No, she just disappeared. You know what? It was probably that damn Kraut. He had that picture of me and her. Who knows what other pictures he had?
So McAfee. She could have gone to McAfee. Is there a chance that maybe she went straight to one of McAfee's enemies instead?
Oh, you mean,
Bugsy.
Oh, he doesn't like to be called that. Yeah, I mean, Bugsy or Mickey Cohen or Bud Barron. He runs AMH Hillier. She can go to any one of those guys, I guess.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, because if Whitey gets out of the picture, that doesn't stop her father from gambling, right? But if the whole casino gets shut down, then her father can't gamble anymore, and Whitey's out of the picture, and she's all right. And I think that I just sold her writer boyfriend up the river.
Yeah, you did, buddy. He's getting the crap kicked out of him right now.
Yeah, he sure is. Then he's going to have a McCarthy trial. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say to Phil, thanks for everything that you told me. I might need a copy of those books, and I may come back with my cop friend, so have them ready. And then I walk out. And then I am going to go to the magazine place.
Okay, what time is it?
Yeah, we'll say it's afternoon.
Afternoon. Okay, so there is a business office and a warehouse.
Okay.
Where would you like to approach?
I am going to look around the warehouse first.
The warehouse. Your knowledge of the streets, your streetwise, if you will, let you know that maybe walking right in when it's open and there's plenty of people around is probably not the smartest move.
Agreed. I just want to see, so what can I see from a distance? There's a bunch of people in the warehouse, so the warehouse is active at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they're printing magazines, my man. There's a lot of hubbub and stuff going on. There's pallets filled with what you can assume are magazines, and there's a large printing press just banging them out. There's an assortment of different magazines, fitness mags, cooking mags.
When you say banging them out, does it sound like metal on metal?
No, because there's so much paper involved. It's more of like a general machinery sound.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I will head on over to the business office, because they're probably open, right?
It is, but you do see a sign outside that says...
Private eyes, come on in.
It does not say that. It says, wholesale business closed to the public. The door is open, and you can peek in, and you don't see a receptionist or any other gatekeeper by the doorway.
Gotcha. Wholesale business, come on in. All right. I think I'm going to have to wait until night before I can really... Of course, if there's nobody there, I'm just going to walk in.
Okay. You walk in. Yeah. As you walk in, there's a warehouse worker who seems surprised that there's someone there, and he's just like, oh, don't tell anyone I'm not working.
And I say, hey, don't tell anybody you saw me, and we should be all right.
Okay.
So what are you doing here?
It's not working. He's holding a cup of water. But it looks like he's been kind of cradling for a while.
I'll say, I'm Dex Raymond.
Okay.
Say, what goes on here at night, fella?
Oh, hey, buddy. I'm just a warehouse worker. You want to have any information about what goes on at night? Go see the boss. And he points down the hall, and he goes, third office on the right.
I will assess the honesty of that.
It's true. That's where the boss's office is.
All right. I'll walk in and knock on the door.
All right.
Taking the straightforward approach here.
You walk up to the door, and it says Bud Barron on the window pane. And
nice.
He's kind of working at his desk, and he goes, really gotta hire a receptionist. Hi.
Hi. I come in and extend my hand, and Dex Raymond, private investigator, how are you?
Yes, Dex Raymond. I have heard of you. It's nice to meet you. Bud.
Oh, you heard of me?
I have. I'm a man who tries to keep his ear to the ground on things and all things Los Angeles. And
all things Los Angeles,
my friend.
Even the Deacon family, probably then, right?
I've heard a few things. Mr. Deacon, he does love to gamble, and fortunately, he's gambling at the wrong establishment.
I see. What would the right establishment be?
Well, I mean, the establishment to come, we'll say. This West Coast style of gambling. It's just so foolish. You know what I mean? Chicago, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. That's where it is at. Chicago and the East Coast. Those fellas know how to gamble. And so we think that Mr. Deacon should be gambling with those fellas.
Got it. Yeah, it sounds nice. I'll tell you, I lost a boatload last night at doing the West Coast style when I was over there.
We all do.
Yeah, a car blew up.
I don't know. That's terrible.
Seems like a thing you might know something about.
Hey, I'm just a man who enjoys a little dice, all right? So he's like
I'm gonna sort of
good smile on his face.
Yeah. I'm going to lean in, see what's on his desk. He's got anything interesting.
You can really identify things quickly enough without it being blatantly obvious, which I don't think I'm going to do.
Then I will, I'll say, look, I'll level with you. I followed 2 boys here last night who blew up that car to this place. And I'm just trying to find out what happened to Helen Deacon 6 weeks ago. Wondering if maybe you know anything. Thought maybe she might have come here to see you. Maybe with some books.
He goes, I might know something if you saw men coming here. Maybe you should find a way to entice him further to tell you the truth, perhaps.
And I'll say, I have a problem. I have some gambling debts with Mr. Whitey. And I can tell you something that should help you take down Whitey and therefore hurt McAfee. Maybe get you a casino of your own here. If you can tell me when you last saw Helen.
Yes.
And I'll use bargaining.
Yes, that seems like a good deal indeed. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I work for the ultimate East Coast man, Mr. Ben Siegel. And, he wanted to lean on Whitey, get him to come over to that East Coast crowd and get away from McAfee. But then, okay. All right, we'll get into the other thing, okay? The girl, Helen, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So she pulls up in front of everybody. And, well, no one saw, but they could have. And she goes, I gotta find a way for them to snatch the casino away from Whitey with McAfee's permission. And this is perfect. Yeah? It's perfect.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it's perfect, but that's not the business I'm in. I'm on a clean operation. So, I said, listen, go talk to Mickey, because Crazy Mickey is looking for a way to get up. You know what I mean? And, if anything happens, anything good happens, then Bud takes credit. And if anything bad happens, it's Mickey's fault. You know what I mean?
Do I know the name Mickey?
So Mickey Cohen is a very young, up-and-coming gang member. He's kind of the muscle, the right-hand side, the right fist, if you will, of Bugsy. Mm-hmm. He's an ex-boxer, and he's kind of as Bud put it, crazy. He's not afraid to do anything to make a name for himself, including beat people up. You mentioned earlier about someone robbing a lady, right, taking her pearls.
He would do that?
That's a Mickey thing. But the thing is, Mickey would get away with it, too.
Huh. Interesting.
This girl, after that, she goes missing. Whatever. That's none of my business. And she comes back, and she's got amnesia. Hey, none of my business. And hey, remember, you didn't hear from me, all right? You didn't hear none of this from me.
You sent her to Crazy Mickey. How long ago was this? About 6 weeks?
About 6.5 weeks, I guess. I don't know. A little bit longer than that, I guess.
And I tell him, I guess you might already know what I was going to tell you, that Whitey was skimming off the top.
That's okay, yes. So that's why she said we get the casino away from McAfee without Whitey being in the picture. Okay. that makes sense.
Yeah. So thank you. Little quid pro quo. You know where I could find Mickey right now?
You got any fascists you know about? He loves to stomp at them fascists. Mickey's crazy. Maybe you could find him out if you...
Beating up some Nazis, like maybe... and then I'll drop Spielman's name.
Spielman's. You know, that name sounds familiar. I do know that Nicky loves... will go out of his way to just beat the living hell out of fascists. I'll tell you what. I'll set up a meeting with you and Mickey if you get this guy's address and give it to him, because... And you make sure you tell him... I mean, well, obviously, I am going to help you set up a guy, set up the meet with Mickey, so Mickey owes me, but I guess Mickey will owe you too, and you can talk to him or whatever.
Gotcha. All right. Set up the meeting.
Okay.
And on my way out, I just want to do a quick sweep, see if evidence collection can help me at all. Thank you, the Needlesmith, for calling that out.
I don't really know that he would be okay with you sorting through his things.
Oh, sure. No, I mean not in his office necessarily, but as I'm like...
no, it all seems above board. It just seems like, magazine business stuff.
Interesting.
As you walk out.
What a weird front.
Yeah, I guess. Mickey
all right.
A lot of these people are real people too. We'll say that not 2 hours later, you get a phone call. I guess you're waiting at your office then, or did you want to go someplace else, or?
I'll wait at my office for the phone call. And while I'm waiting at the office, I would love to do a little more research into Spielman's and just see if there's any headlines, stories he's written as an investigative reporter that exist.
You do not find anything.
I knew he was full of crap.
Recent memory that's written by. So Mickey calls you up and he's like, yeah, hey. You're the guy that knows about the guy that's, you know what?
I suppose that's me, yes.
Yeah, alright. Yeah. You're at this office, this address?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and me, we're gonna go pay a visit, huh? How's that sound?
I wanna set like a public meet, like a cafe or something.
Okay, sure. Okay, fine. You give me okay, fine. And
all right.
He agrees. So I don't know. It's like lunchtime. You having lunch with Mickey Cohen? How does that sound?
Okay, pretty cool.
So, you get there. I guess. Did you want to? I don't know. Scope it out or anything like that. I don't know how you want to approach this. I don't want to assume.
I want to get there early.
Okay.
Probably like an hour early, so that I'm there before he is. And I can see if any suspicious characters come in while I'm there.
Are you sitting at the table, or are you watching? Are you sitting at a table, or are you just watching?
I was sitting at a table, but I got a table so I can watch the door.
Okay, yeah. You see him come in. You know what Mickey Cohen looks like. He does not know what you look like, I would say. And he comes in and he's like, Hey, hello. I'm here to meet someone.
I call over.
Rex?
I say, Sir.
You the guy?
I am. You the guy?
I am the guy. I am the guy. And he sits down across from you.
I'll cut right to the chase, because I'm sure Bud already informed you. Helen. I want to know what happened to her 6 weeks ago.
Helen. Yeah,
Helen Deacon.
No, I know. Yeah, I met her a few times, 2 or 3 times at an associate's garage. So she was giving me Whitey bucks, and then I would, take care of Whitey, and then we'll forgive all of Roscoe's debts. You know what I mean? Up to this point. No, not going forward or anything like that. You can't come to the casino and spend all your money. Get a pass.
So you were forgiving her father's debts?
Exactly.
I'd like to assess this guy's honesty. Do you know what happened to Helen 6 weeks ago?
He kind of smiles really broadly, and he goes, let me tell my story. Can I tell my story?
Tell your story.
We met And met that first time, made the deal. Met the second time, she gave me the books, put them away, and now I'm waiting for the moment to strike. I want to make sure I don't get run out of town like Capone did, you know? You were here for that, right?
What?
Al Capone got run out of Los Angeles.
Right, so he doesn't want to get run out.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to get busted and kicked out of here.
Sure. So what's that got to do with Helen?
I don't remember. Maybe we met a third time. I don't remember.
I'm going to use intimidation, and I'm just going to sweep my coat back to show my pistol. Oh crap! I forgot I had my upper hands card.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that to wipe out my gambling debt.
Okay. Good call.
And assume that they took care of it for me.
Yeah.
But I will, I'm going to sweep my coat back to show my pistol. And I'm going to say, you better remember real quick if you met a third time, or there's going to be 6 holes in your chest.
His smile gets huge, and he sweeps back his jacket, and he goes, "That's nice. Mine's bigger. And yes, he has a larger gun than you."
And I say, bigger is heavier. And that means you won't be able to draw it as fast.
And he leans in close and he goes, "Buddy, if you think 6 bullets are going to stop me, you don't know me very well. But hey, we came here because I thought we were pals, right? I thought we were pals. Listen. I think you should go out and meet the guy who we met at the place. The garage. The garage. It's our garage, yeah.
Dex Raymond knows this is a setup, but also has to know the truth. And I say, all right, give me the address.
All right, he writes it down. He goes, "The owner is Roy Bedact. He'll fix your car." All right.
All right.
Now then.
I assess the honesty here. Am I being set up?
He's definitely hiding something, but it doesn't seem like, oh, go there and you'll be killed outright or something like that. You get the feeling that if Mickey wanted you dead, Mickey would just kill you himself. Like, he has no qualms about doing that.
Sure, that makes sense.
So, for him to be like, you should go see this thing, means that you're not going to be killed, but obviously something good is not going to happen.
I'm going to go to this place. Okay. The garage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lie. I'm going to tell Mickey that I'm going to go there tonight. And then I'm actually going to go right there to the garage.
Okay. Mickey is playing with something in his hand.
Oh.
He's fidgeting with it a lot. You can't really tell what it is. He's fidgeting. It's getting really annoying, in fact.
Mm-hmm. What I would like to do is... I'm going to try to filch it from him.
Are you going to try and steal it from him? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to, on my way out, I'm going to spill coffee on him.
Oh, you sure about that, buddy? James, are you sure about that, Rex? Or Dex Raymond? You want to spill coffee on Mickey Cohen?
I guess not.
Let me tell you, you're streetwise as being like, I shouldn't do that. I like my face to not be all bloody.
Okay, then I will go for... Yeah, I want to try to... But I do want to try to steal it from him.
Okay.
And so I guess I need a way to do that.
Yeah, just give me a filch test.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to steal something from Mickey Cohen that he's playing with.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, as the conversation ends, you see him put it in his pocket.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to have to start it at 5.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
5.
All right.
5 exactly.
As Mickey's standing up and taking his napkin off of his lap, you very subtly do one of those backhanded grabs, into his pocket, and you pull out thing.
Okay, what is it that I've got?
Okay, it's a stone, but it's different. So as you take it out of his pocket, he's starting to fold his napkin up, which is quite strange considering, how insane he is.
Right.
But he stops suddenly and almost like jolts. He doesn't make any mention of that sudden jolt. He stops, then continues to fold his napkin up again.
Okay.
So just let you know that happens. But you walk out and look at it, and it's a stone that's very weird. So weird that I would ask you to make a cool check.
Oh, stuff.
Oh, stuff indeed.
2.
2. Uh-oh.
What do I need?
Oh, I'm sorry. You need a 5.
I will take an extra problem, if I can.
Yeah, you can.
3 for 5.
5. Okay. You're getting problem number 30.
No crap.
Strain your ticker.
Oh, no.
You've made yourself do something every fiber of your being told you not to do. You've flooded yourself with adrenaline and can't calm down. Counter by accepting a -4 penalty on any challenge. If still in your hand at end of case, you suffer a heart attack.
Oh, my God. Okay. Good Lord.
Good Lord, indeed. That was the extra problem, too.
All right. So, yeah, I look at this thing and my ticker gets strained, but...
The stone gives you a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, but that's not enough to stop you from taking it or throwing it away.
Okay.
It's almost as though it's a magnet and you're metal.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
You get the feeling that you just did Mickey a huge favor by taking it away from him.
That's crazy. And now I have it.
And now you have it.
And that's bad.
Probably.
Okay. All right, let's go to the garage. I've got to push forward here if we can.
The garage... deserted.
When I get there?
When you get there. There's no one there.
Okay.
It's
interesting.
It looks like an old remote body shop. It looks dusty. This is out in the desert, by the way, the Mojave Desert.
Oh, okay. All right. And is it open or is it like all locked up?
It looks open, yeah, I guess. It looks pretty empty, as I noted. It's like legit in the middle of nowhere. There's a big expanse. There's no trees around. There's no cover. There's not even like normal nature-y sounds.
Okay.
It's just like sitting in the middle of the desert. You gotta wonder how this place is open still.
Yeah, this is bizarre. I'm going to go in.
Okay.
Approach with caution, but yeah.
You go in, and it seems empty.
Okay. Then yes, I will look around at the... Let's see. So I'm at the garage. Let me use... Yeah, I'll use evidence collection.
Sure.
To go through stuff.
In the corner of the room is a drop cloth.
Oh, boy.
Covering something. You pull it off, and it is a still. Evidence collection means that it just looks like a normal still that you would make moonshine with.
Huh. Interesting.
As you're doing that, you hear a low moaning emanating from the trunk of a nearby Nash Rambler, which is a car.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I open up that car, and I'll use locksmith if it's locked.
It is locked, and you jimmy it open adeptly. Inside, you find Burl Treehorn, who was one of the casino pit bosses at the Allegria.
Okay.
And Buddy, he ain't looking good. He's been severely beaten to the point where he's unrecognizable. You can literally see, like, brain tissue pulsing beneath his skull. Like, it's that horrific.
Oh my God.
You're going to make a stability check. Because this is insane. You've never seen someone... Like, you know, you've been around the block, buddy. You're Dex Raymond. You've seen some pretty horrific stuff, but you've never seen anyone beaten this close to death and still, like, he's still alive. It's some messed up stuff, man. So this is advance 11 because it's really crazy. Setback 3. So big hold grouping.
Big hold, but small setback.
Advance. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to use the strain your ticker on this one to take the -4.
Okay. Ooh, smart. Ooh, super smart.
Okay, so that's a 4 and a 2.
Uh-oh.
Oh, crap.
You can take another problem.
I will take the extra problem.
Okay. You
And
have
I
gained
will
problem.
roll a 1.
What is that?
3.
Oh boy, Jamesy.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy. Okay.
But I got rid of the strain your ticker.
You did get rid of strain your ticker.
But I just got 2 more problems.
You did indeed. Let's see. We've got... That thing you just saw, or learned, leaves you shaky and off your game. Until you counter by taking time, take a -2 penalty on all cool and stability tests.
Oh, crap.
And in addition, this is the problem you took. So that was the failure problem, the setback. This is what you took. Cold-blooded. You maintain...
Oh, I already have that.
You do?
Yeah.
You have a second.
Crap.
Once again, that's you maintain your sanity by cutting off all empathy for others. When you spend a push on reassurance. Ooh, have you done that? No, you haven't spent a push on
I have not. I don't have any pushes left. So.
Roll a die. On an odd result, you do not gain the benefit of the push, and you discard the card. In addition, something else happens.
In addition, something else happens.
Something else happens. So while you're staring in horror at Burl, you hear a noise creeping up behind you.
Okay.
You manage to turn around in time to see a weird, disheveled-looking man carrying a very heavy wrench.
Oh my god.
Swings it at your head. So
Holy
you have
crap.
a -3 penalty from that failure. Or it was actually from the hold. If you hold even. If you got a hold, you would have had -3.
Oh my god. Okay.
You cannot spend an extra problem on this. It is a sense trouble.
Oh no. What's the
Setback 6, advanced 13.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
And I have -3 on it?
you do.
Okay, well I have 2, so let's see what I get. A 6. Yes.
Oh, wow. Lucky.
And a 4, so I have a 7, which is enough for a hold.
It is. So, Roy, you can assume this is Roy, because he's the owner. He swings and he clips you with the wrench, but he doesn't knock you out cold.
Oh my god.
It's a glancing blow.
So this is weird, gross Roy?
Yeah, it's a glancing blow. You manage to take the brunt of it on your shoulder, but as a result, this upcoming test, or challenge, excuse me, which is now you're struggling with him and the wrench, you're going to take a -2 penalty.
Damn it. Is this fighting?
This is fighting.
Okay.
Setback 5, advance 13.
Alright, I got a 5 and a 1.
So that's a -2. Which gives you 4.
Can I take a setback or an extra problem?
You cannot.
Okay. Well then, here we go.
Roy cackles maniacally and is like, "Good! Now I get to hit you twice!" And he swings the wrench around in an even greater arc, and it full-on clocks you, knocking you unconscious. The lights, they go dim. The last thing you hear is sort of going... The adventure is not over, though.
Oh no.
It's not over. You wake up with an insane headache.
Right.
And you hear the sound of a winch lowering. You're in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
You're wrapped in a bloody sheet, the one that was covering Burl's body. Ray is above you. So it's like a platform that opens up, and then there's some sort of underneath. You look down, and all you can see is darkness.
Okay.
And you're in this cage that can be raised and lowered by this winch. So you've been lowered down about, we'll say, 5 feet. So you can still see Roy. But you're waiting, and he goes... and he's clapping. What do you do?
So Roy is clapping as he's lowering me into a pit?
Yeah, so he stopped lowering you. You're not super far down.
Okay, then can I try to... I'm locked in this cage, I assume?
Yes. Roy's kind of dancing above you now, like... Yeah, what's going to happen to the girl is going to happen to you.
And I say, what happened to the girl?
Oh, she needed to forget. She needed to forget. I told them that I had the forget me potion, but it isn't the potion that makes them forget. So as he's giggling like the maniac that he is, you hear a noise beneath you. Unlike anything you've ever heard, it's like an animal, but also different. It's like if a wolf sounded more savage. I'm not really sure how to put it. If there was a type of wolf that didn't just eat things because it was hungry, it ate things because it liked to kill. Just out of pleasure and the joy of killing things. It is, that's the kind of noise you imagine it would be. And about half a dozen monsters, that's the only way to describe it, half a dozen monsters come out. So, okay, looking down, you see there's another 10 feet or so. The cavern beneath you extends to the side down towards a tunnel. And that's where these things come out. They have rubbery skin. It almost looks like fake movie monster skin with strange, almost canine snouts. And they gather around the cage, banging and growling. Roy turns the winch more to bring you down further, so you're on the ground level.
Okay.
The way they move, it seems like they're like a pack animal. It's kind of banging. They're banging and smacking it, and
I don't like this. So as they are banging and snarling in rage, I would like to
make a stability challenge check.
I guess I would like to do that. So I have 2 stability dice.
Sorry, advance 9. Sit back 3.
Okay, so I got a 3.
Okay.
A 6. A 9.
A 9?
Yeah. Great. I stare into the face of these ghouls and I'm like, go F yourselves.
These monsters are definitely something from someone's nightmares, but not Dex Raymond's nightmares. You've been to freak shows in the past. You've seen freaks before. These things are monstrous and strange, but they're not insanity-causing. You're stronger than Helen. You're not going to crack. Gain an edge, called Strange Not Maddening. You've seen the so-called supernatural up close, and it hasn't cooked your noggin. Sure, it's monstrous and surprising, but it still has to have a logical explanation. Spend to counter a mythos problem. Man, too bad you don't have more of those.
I know. I have a feeling I'm about to have a getting eaten problem.
The ghouls, they're banging on the cage, and the cage isn't particularly large. Definitely think they could grab you, but they're not.
They're not grabbing me?
They're not grabbing you. Above you, Roy has brought over what looks like the severed... somebody's severed hand. You can only assume it's Burl's. And he throws it down into the pit.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Do I still have my gun?
Hey, what a great question. I think you do still have your gun, James. And now I will ask you to use a prepared... You know what? No, we'll use the previous preparedness test because I feel good about that.
I definitely want to shoot Roy.
You want to shoot Roy? Okay, cool. So just so you know, the monsters converge on the hand and start eating the hand.
Oh, interesting.
To the point where they're ignoring you. They're so focused on the hand.
So can I escape? Can I try to escape the cage then?
You could. So now I will say that you could spend some time trying to unjam the bolt, or you could shoot Roy. He's kind of dancing above you. It's weird and creepy.
I guess what I want to do is if they're distracted, I want to unjam the bolt.
Okay. You unjam the bolt after... it takes them a surprisingly long time to eat the hand because it looks like everybody gets a piece, if that makes any sense.
Gross.
Like it's not
Gross.
One monster jumping on eating the whole thing. They take turns making sure that everything gets its fair share.
Okay.
But you unjam it.
And then I want to
ignoring
start climbing up the chain.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm going to go athletics check for that.
Okay.
Roy's like, no! Stop that! Stop it! Stop doing that! Yeah, quick test 4.
All right.
Oh, 3,
I
sorry,
rolled
3.
a 2 and then a 2, so 4.
2, 3. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So you're climbing up the fairly steadily. The ghouls have now stopped and are just staring at you. Roy is still raging, and he has grabbed a pitchfork and
really?
of turning to stab you with it.
I am definitely going to shoot Roy.
Okay, so here's a cool thing about this game. You don't need to roll for shooting.
That's right.
You know how to shoot a guy. You shoot him, but you don't shoot him in the head. You gut shot him.
Nice.
He falls to the ground. He drops the pitchfork, and it falls into the pit. And he kind of just falls to the ground and starts bleeding and coughing. Below, rather, you see the ghouls turn, and they stop watching you, and they start watching Roy as he's bleeding to death. It doesn't take very long for him to pass out, in fact. By the time you get to the top, he's unconscious.
Good.
So you can kind of, wedge yourself over, whatever. Get back on the platform. As soon as you're up, one of the ghouls does what you just did and jumps on top of the cage and starts to climb up the chain like you did. It's staring directly at Roy, who's probably expired at this point. He's definitely not making any noise.
I push Roy over the edge to see if he'll follow him down.
Yeah, the ghoul immediately changed. Like I said, it's following with its eyes. They're all staring at Roy. And Roy smashes onto the ground. He falls in a way that if he wasn't dead before, he's definitely dead now. You see his head split open as he hits the bottom of the cavern. And again, in fact, this is so strange, but the ghouls wait for the other one to safely descend down the chain before tearing into him.
I then I hit the crank real fast to bring the cage up as quickly as I can.
The cage comes up.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna look around to see and try not to look down there because that's gross. To see if I can find anything about what the hell is going on here.
Yeah. So you find a letter from Mickey Cohen. Hey, got another girl that needs to forget. Or I'll bring her by later and you can give her the Forget Me potion.
Oh, crap.
We'll give you more of the stuff that you like to have.
Gotcha.
Stuff is in quotes. We'll say that it's written like a second grader.
Gotcha.
Because Mickey can't read or write, but it's someone written on Mickey's behalf or whatever.
Gotcha. Is there anything else here? Like around this area?
Yeah. You go in the back and you find 7 more corpses.
Oh my god.
Stacked on top of each other.
Oh, gross. Okay. Yeah, I guess I would call the cops to tell them about this. And the ghouls are like in that cavern place, right?
Yeah, below.
Are they still there?
So they have destroyed and eaten Roy in a stunningly fast amount of time. You know, the fact that it was a larger thing means that they were able to portion it out and eat simultaneously.
Right.
They're gone. You don't see them and you don't hear them.
Okay. I'll go down. I gotta know.
Back down? You gotta know! You go back down. Immediately when you walk through, you can tell that this is not just one long tunnel. It is an extensive network of tunnels. It seems like the ghouls have clawed these tunnels out themselves like some sort of bastardized ants. There's human bones everywhere. There's bones everywhere.
Gotcha.
You can't walk without stepping on them. And as you go further, as you look around the cavern too, you see hieroglyphic carvings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like Clara saw. Yeah, I will check them out.
So, you pull out your weird little rock,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at the carvings, and you look at your rock, and you look at the carve. They're like tablets, I should say. with carvings on them, and it's very clear that it's made from the same material, the same kind of stone.
All right.
In fact,
can I touch? I'll touch them together.
You'll touch them. Okay, touching them together, something happens.
Mm-hmm.
You feel a jolt.
Oh no!
Stability check.
Goddamn. What's my hold? Advance. Yada yada.
Advance 9. Setback 4.
3. Oh crap. 6. 9.
As if contacted by a mind from vanished eons, you find yourself able to read the symbols. They tell of an ancient civilization of non-humans that... No, that's ridiculous.
What?
You suppress the thought, whatever it was. You'll never understand these carvings. It's more mumbo-jumbo, just like those weird... It must have been like a pig and a wolf had a baby or something. I don't know what those things were, but they're easily explained, just like these weird things. If you want to explore the tunnels, the ghouls went one way, and it looks like you can tell immediately which way they went.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like there's another tunnel that goes the opposite way.
I'll go that way.
Okay. You progress through it. It takes maybe 20 minutes before you come to a hole that's been opened with a drill.
Okay.
You can kind of squeeze your way through, and when you get out, you see that it was made from an oil derrick. Now, empty oil derrick.
Okay.
That must have dug holes initially, and then maybe the things expanded upon them and made, I guess, a home or something.
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Did you take the carvings, by the way?
After I could take them?
Yeah, after that initial weirdness, you're just like, whatever. These are rocks with some...
yeah, if I could take them, I totally would.
Written on them. So you get out and you're back, like, it must have been like a windy tunnel. I mean, you were just following it.
Yeah.
You kind of lost your way because now you're back right outside the garage. You
Oh, wow.
Squeeze your way through and you're near the garage.
Okay. Yeah, I am going to definitely call the police to come check this place out with all the weird bones and stuff.
So maybe that's not a great idea to call the police where there's 7 or 8 bodies and there's a guy who was eaten by a bunch of monsters. That's what your Streetwise is telling you.
Well, then, can I use my Streetwise to, like, I don't know, get a bomb to blow up the hole?
Here, you want to make a preparedness test to see if you have a bomb?
Sure. What do I need?
5.
I got a 1.
Okay, no bomb for you.
I will instead drive whatever cars are active into the, like, try to sort of cram up the hole with them.
Okay.
Putting bricks on the gas.
There's gasoline all over where if you want to light those cars.
Oh, yeah. That's what I do. I burn this place to the ground.
You do. It explodes very loudly. When you get back to town, there are newspapers blaring headlines that announce that Whitey Alexander has disappeared.
Oh.
Whatever that means. Can go to Margaret and
I do.
Tell her about the horrors that you saw.
I don't know that I...
What?
Yeah, no, I will say that Whitey has disappeared and been taken care of, and he's part of the reason of what happened to Helen. And I'll report to her what happened.
Okay, she seems horrified, as one would.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you were kind of like... you're reporting it, but because you were so steadfast in the face of this insanity, you kind of make it less insane, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I try to be cool and calm as I tell her, like it's all very matter of fact.
Mm-hmm. She's like, it's so strange because what time was, you tell her what time it was, and she's like, the second it sounds like you destroyed this hole, Helen, I don't know, she stood up. And she walked around, something she hasn't done in 4 weeks. So,
wow.
I guess that means she's getting better? I don't know. Thank you, Dex Raymond. You've earned your pay. And she pays you.
Oh, thank God. I need this money. In case they ever come looking for me. I thank her
Okay.
And I'm excited that Helen is feeling better. And I'm like, if you ever need me, you know where to find me. And I walk out.
As you come into your office, you find a note on your desk. It is written in that terrible second grader scrawl. And it says, didn't know about the monsters. Did kick crap out of Nazi. Felt real good. Guess we're even.
And I will, I'll throw it down, sit down at my desk, light a cigarette, and take out my lucky cigarette holder, put that down, and then next to it, I'll put down the stone that I touched it. And I'll sort of stare at it and then put it in my desk drawer and close the drawer as the camera zooms in.
All right. That's
Cool.
Cthulhu Confidential. That was Fathomless Sleep. Thank you, James. Thank you, Saving Throw Show, for hosting us.
Thank you so much. That was
really
amazing.
kind of them, yeah.
Bye.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening. This special bonus episode was edited by Rudy Basso. Huge thanks to him for doing that. He also co-owns Don't Split the Podcast Network with me. What a great guy. The theme music that you're listening to right now was composed by Battle Bards. Remember that RPGs are like sex. As long as you're having fun, you're doing it right.
Hey, it's your pal Mike Shea from the website Sly Flourish and author of the books The Lazy Dungeon Master and Sly Flourish's Fantastic Locations. I'm going to be hosting a brand new show on the Don't Split the Podcast Network called the DM's Deep Dive. Each month, I'll be talking to a member of the D&D community about a particular topic of the game like encounter design, tools for improvisation, and game pacing. You can subscribe to the show through iTunes, on Twitch, or on YouTube. Join me, and we'll all work together to make our games fantastic.